about to begin, by the way. Okay, I need you to do some testing. Can you hear anything? Or see anything, by the way?
See something like what?
I know, on the stream. I already activated it.
I saw that you popped up.
But don't you hear any audio or something?
Hold on, I never opened the stream yet. Give me 1 second.
Don't you hear any audio? I do, so don't worry about it. Oh, hey everyone. If you can see me, we're testing out the stream. We're just waiting for the other GMs to drop by. And Moria won't be available. Lizzie is going to be hosting in-game, and GM Panda is going to be on the stream. Feel free to join our chat. We don't really mind. We just want this to be as perfect as possible, if I can say that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too demanding. But we're just waiting for GM Panda to drop by, and we'll start with our podcast. So we can talk about the latest concerning Elro and LGN. As you can see, you can just, sit down, enjoy the podcast. You can spam if you want. We don't really mind. The more activity, the better. Oh, hello. Also, if you join our chat, remember not to interrupt every now and then. Just wait until the questions and answers section, unless you have a. Oh, didn't mean that to happen. You can join our stream chat. Just remember not to interrupt while the GMs are talking about something. Just wait until we're done and we can politely ask or answer all of your questions, or ask if we are having problems listening to the stream or listening to you guys. Just let us know, okay? You can actually type on Ragnarok online chat or the main chat. So don't worry about it. Or you can go to the stream itself. Yeah, just remember to mute the stream, because if you don't, you're gonna hear me like double Luna. I don't think you can take me twice. So just let's limit ourselves to one of us per at a time, right? Again, feel free to join. Oh, hello. Feel free to join. We're waiting for Panda to drop by. Lizzie's just gonna be in game, so we're just preparing for the podcast. Is it cutting out? Please let me know. Be honest, please, because this is for you guys. I want it to be as clear as possible. If not, just I'll make a sample later on, and I'll let you guys know what happened. I'm gonna record it, and then I'm gonna give you a script of what happened, and I'm gonna post it on the forums. By the way, why is everyone so static in prompt? I don't see anyone spamming or anything. Just someone dropping gear. Or no, it's just vouchers, never mind.
Not really getting any audio from the stream right now. I'm trying to figure out why.
Probably your settings. It's okay anyway. If everyone can hear me, it's okay. I mean, you can hear me through Discord, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, then that's great. Cause then you can be able to answer like questions and whatnot. Hello, Mr. So anyone else having problems with the stream, audio, and whatnot?
No, I think it's just me.
Okay. No, I'm just making sure. This is a time for troubleshooting, so just waiting for Panda for him to get his furry ass here, and Lizzie to. I don't see Lizzie anywhere. It's okay. I'm pretty sure they can join later on in the discussion. But I don't think Lizzie's gonna be here on voice chat. It's just Panda. And I don't see Aurelius, or I didn't see anything. He didn't tell me anything. I know Amoria told me that she was gonna be busy, so yeah.
Well, his time's usually. He's probably sleeping right now, anyways.
I guess so. Just gonna wait like 5 more minutes for Panda, and if he doesn't come around, I'll start.
Family birthday, apparently.
What birthday? His birthday.
Aurelius. Apparently, he's got a family birthday.
He didn't tell me anything. Oh well.
Yeah, it's on the stream.
Oh. Well, he should have said that to me, so I can program properly. But it's okay.
Oh well, that's fine. You know.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, Panda's telling me he's gonna get on 5, maybe 6 minutes. So I'll just wait. I'm just gonna give you a debriefing. We're gonna be talking about Lighthouse as a whole, the server, how it came to be, our purpose, the original design, of course. And we're gonna talk about LGN as general, what we do, what we don't do, and what we hope to do in the future for this community.
Yeah, we'll go through everything, and hopefully everyone shows up, or whoever's coming shows up, and go from there.
So again, last round, everyone having like problems like sound, audio, video, delay, I don't know, you can't be heard. Because I want everyone to be heard at least once. If not, you can type in the stream chat. Okay, 3 more minutes for Panda. Come on, people, start spamming skills. I mean, I'm not gonna ban you for it.
Well, you told me to be myself. That's gonna get me banned.
No, come on. Try me.
Would you ask Hitler to be himself?
Huh?
Would you ask Hitler to be himself?
Sure, why not?
You're bold.
Okay.
Are you saying you're like Hitler?
Oh, no. It's a bit of an exaggeration. But how's it feel to be abandoned by all the friends that you were counting on? Bet myself.
Yeah, I don't ban people. I don't have time for that. There's an auto ban feature for that, so I don't even touch it. Oh my god, Panda's taking forever. Oh well. Just 4 more minutes and we're gonna start this thing.
He'll show up when he's ready.
Huh?
He'll show up when he's ready.
Oh, he told me he was here, but then he had to do something else. Then he moved to something else. Then something else happened, and yeah, it's just a chain of something else's apparently.
He's just being a diva.
Probably. Well, he's a panda.
What about cat dude? What's his face? Live blah blah blah.
You want Livia's cat?
Yeah, him.
You want him here? Sure, he's around.
Isn't he part of the GM team?
Well, something like that, yeah, but if he's not here, then...
He's whatever he wants to be, I guess.
But yeah, he can join. Anyone can join, actually. Just waiting for a panda and we'll get this thing ready to go. There he is.
Hey, what's shaking?
Hello, panda.
Hey, what's up, Luna?
Well, just waiting for you to start the show.
Who, me?
Oh, hey, Livius.
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, you guys.
No.
What?
Tired.
Oh, wow.
What?
Did you just say you're tired?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I said, oh,
It's
wow.
more like a moan.
I know, right?
Very satisfied moan.
Not yet. Not yet.
You know, it's like an intro to a blowjob.
This is people, this is supposed to be a podcast, not a sex cast.
Oops. My bad. Got
Might have better luck that way with the turnout.
If you can handle it. But yeah, Panda, I'm glad you're here so we can start the podcast.
Oh, so much pressure.
It's time for some dissection.
Like helicopter man?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hello,
And
Alchemist.
unicorn cops? Helicopter man. Wow. Wait. Whoa. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess it's time to go over all of the books that we're all reading, apparently.
Anyway, guys, let me just go start with the opening. As usual, welcome to Dissection, our latest podcast. This is going to be our first episode, so stay tuned and don't forget to ask any questions by using our Discord channels. We're going to be talking about our private server, White House Row, and other nifty things too. For now, we're just going to discuss about L Row and the future of the server in general. What we're going to do if we're going to work with the cash shop and other things. Class rebalance, donation to vote points, vote points to donation points, and all sorts of things that I've been reading on the forums lately. So if anyone wants to start talking about how it works, if anyone has a opinion or any concern on how we manage the server, please let us know. Of course, be polite, be kind, please defend and be concise. Know your arguments, and please leave the trolling outside. We troll a lot, so we have enough of trolling around. If we want to troll, we just go to our chats and we have fun. But let's try to be civil here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So Panda, we talk about. Oh,
Hello.
hello, Malix. Sit tight
Oh my.
and don't speak now, okay? I'll let you know when you have to speak, okay, Malix?
I know.
Okay, you just sit there and listen like a good boy, okay?
Okay, don't just do that. Don't do that shit.
No, no,
okay?
just sit there, okay?
Okay, fine.
That's great, Malix. Good, Malix. Anyway, as I was saying, Panda, do you have something else to say or anything you want to add? Anything you want to discuss?
Well, actually, I don't know, but I'm figuring it out. So stay tuned.
You're still loading? That panda brain of
Still
yours?
booting up. Yeah, I'm still booting up Panda OS.
Well, I've seen so many concerns about Elro not being the kind of game that people wanted. That I don't know. I was in a different server. They treated me like a royal prince or something. Then I came to Elro and people treat me like shit. No, as far as I know, we don't treat people that way, or at least myself as the owner of this place, I do not treat people that way. I try to be polite and reach a happy medium between all the parts, or at least try to find a plausible solution to every problem. It takes a while, it takes time, but that doesn't mean that I disappear or that I never pay attention to anyone. I do pay attention, and it takes me a while to implement changes and stuff like that. I mean, my staff is doing its best, and people need to understand that this is a small server, and we're still growing. Yeah, population issues, yes, we have them, but we are trying to amend them as we go by. We had like two roadmaps for episodes, and we had another roadmap for server progression. That one's still in the making. We're gonna release it probably this week, and we're gonna let you guys know what we think about rebirth and other things that people have been asking for the past 2 months and a half. So if any GM has something to say about Elro or how we manage it, or if you guys uh, been having any problems with certain stuff, just let me know. Just say it out here and we'll try to find a solution.
I've been getting a lot of people coming to me talking about they want rebirth. It seems very split between people that want rebirth and those that don't. So even right off the bat there, with everybody being split with wanting rebirth and some not wanting it, it was always an idea to introduce it, but with the way it seems is everybody wants it like right now or they don't want it at all. So it's really difficult to balance it, I guess, because even with the wipe, we thought about bringing it in considering down the line it was always our idea to have a wipe, say Saint Maroc episode. We let Saint Maroc win, and then we come back all with the ability to rebirth so that we can beat him again the following year. But with how the way everything was going, I guess we decided to speed everything up. But we're not quite sure about releasing rebirth
Yeah,
because we're not sure how everyone feels.
I understand. That was the main idea, to reach episode 12 and just wipe there and then do rebirth. But with the whole Crimson drama and people exploiting certain like items in game and then just, spreading the items, well, I know what's going on. They don't tell me anything. I'm just letting them be and they just don't tell me anything. So what, seriously? Then I have to wipe because it's just got out of control. When I specifically told everyone to give me reports of bugs, glitches, and everything else. I mean, if you go to someone's DM and that DM's not for me, I can't do much. I need people to just give me everything like data, information, screenshots, so I can do my job properly. I mean, I can't work based on rumors. I need evidence, data to support the claim so I can actually do my job. But the rebirth thing, yeah, that was the original plan, to reach episode 12 and then let people play a little bit and then do the whole restart thing. But it didn't happen that way. So we're just gonna release Restart probably in about 2-3 months. I mean, Rebirth, my bad. We're gonna release Rebirth pretty much in 2-3 months. Don't know if we're gonna release a WoW around then. Maybe not. Not sure. Not sure how people feel about WoW because I've seen people uh, pro WoW and against WoW. Personally, I never liked the idea of releasing WoW too soon. I didn't like it here. I didn't like it on Restart. I think it just killed pretty much the community itself because everyone just became WoW oriented and it just killed the PVM aspect of the game. Assuming Restart had any PVM in the first place. But yeah.
Well, having WoW introduced so early when there was barely any guilds to even contest it, even then, why start your own guild to combat the original guilds when you can just join up with them and share the loot? There's groups not big enough in order to contest it effectively when you can just join up with them and get the loot for free without having to contest it. Even having more than one open at a time, it's not properly balanced with the low amount of players.
Yeah, we definitely do not have the population to sustain that kind of woe cycle weekly, because that's just pretty much premature suicide. And that's one of the many reasons why most uh, would-be servers, with so much potential, they get killed halfway in, I guess, what we would call the beta process of opening up past release. And I would agree. I think we should definitely hold off woe and focus more on the PVM aspect and taking care of the community, the current players, watching the server growth, and sort of promote the growth of the community in general first, then implement WoW as, like maybe a final feature or something.
Yeah, WoW can actually come out as something stable when we have enough people to sustain WoW instead of like bashing PBM for the sake of WoW. That was my main concern a long time ago. People were like dissing on PBM. PBM is like a ladder to do WoW. That's what I don't want. That's what I've always been against, like since the beginning of like WoW.
I think if we were to actually release WoW sometime in the future, we should wait until there's a good number of guilds and then release it accordingly. Say, like, we get 10 guilds with about 5 members in each guild, then that's fine. We could at least drop one castle so that there's something for them to compete over, as long as they're all willing to do it. So they have their WoW, but they have 10 guilds competing for one castle. At least then there's competition and something to drive them to actually compete against each other instead of all joining up in one guild to just share the loot.
Yeah, that's another thing. Loot may get out of control. It's just like 2 castles or 3 castles competing for the same thing. Like, there is no point. We're just giving out like free stuff if there's no competition for the castles. Do you want to say something, Panda? Panda?
Well, I mean, oh, I hear an echo. Sorry. Hold on.
Okay, well, Panda is like, oh, you ready, Panda?
No, I mean, what I was meaning to say was, I agree, because, you know, I think most of us real veterans who have played for, I don't know, for God knows how long, for 10 years, we've been server hopping with pretty much everyone else who shares the same passion for real private server. I think we definitely understand that the WoW mechanics are not, to say, uh, local to any singular real private server, because basically there is a centralized WoW community, like a, say, like a gypsy tribe or a nomad community that is always thirsty for active WoW aspects in any particular server. So they would always be hopping server to server to server for years and years on end. And I think I think that's one of the best aspects, or one of the best surviving aspects of the general real private community in general. So I think that if we can focus on building this community, and to such an extent whereby we gain their trust and they gain our trust, and we can communicate on a level or a basis uh, of you know mutual benefit, that whereby we can set the center stage for a proper WoW arena that could actually attract these people, these players, players who've always lived for WoW. Maybe not so much from a PVM aspect, but as far as WoW is concerned, uh, you know, I think it's a very untapped potential still. I mean, even though the real community in general is not as huge as it once was, but I'm still hopeful. I mean, there is something we can still do here if we would just make some changes, listen to the community, try and fix some stuff, and maybe address some concerns.
Well, coming with the EU ban for a lot of people that play on official servers, I'm hoping that we could actually pull some of them, considering a lot of them clearly still like the whole classic WoW style. Even if we're not official, we're still have an appeal to them because we're classic Revo styling, something they would like.
I mean, it's still a niche, so to speak. So yeah, I think right now we definitely need to reach out and advertise for sure.
That's right. We need to advertise. I've been working on that. Remember that advertising is kind of expensive and it takes a while to build an advertising base for the server. Um, Also, I've been trying to contact all people from other games, other servers that they've played Row before. So once we get all that player base inside our Elro, then maybe we can just start targeting more different sectors or populations inside Row. Right now, WP banned all the people from the EU, so they can't play on WP anymore. we may or try to target that population before they go to different private servers. So that's why I'm just trying to gather as much footage or as possible for the advertisements and for the jingles. We actually have a jingle, but we never used it. It was supposed to be a radio ad, so we're gonna put it to use to see if we can reach radio and YouTube and other like social platforms for advertisement. You want to say something, Panda, Rye, Livius, anyone? Yes.
Other than, yeah, we just need, if anything for WoW, just one castle. But if there's no guilds, yeah, there's really no reason or any purpose for WoW. Just stick it out in parties and just try to have fun. But we do need more advertisement. I'll try to see if I can find some other places that aren't going to be like $600 like the other bigger private servers are willing to dish out for a #1 spot in advertisement on different servers.
Yeah, that's another thing. We are not competing with like top private servers. This is a small one, and I don't know if people read the history or the Discord logs. It explains the purpose of Elro. It wasn't supposed to be a public server. It was more like a server for friends, but then later on we decided to make it public or open for everyone. So our design is pretty much not what everyone wanted, and that has been the main problem. We've been catering and transforming the server to something more streamlined or standard. So the first few weeks of Elro was really interesting because players were pretty much complaining about how the server was too custom, or it was like tailored to like a 2-3 people, and it's that's right. It was tailored for a. Oh my! I have a follower. Thank you so much. Anyway, aside that, that took me by surprise. Anyway,
Hooray.
so where was I? Yeah, the philosophy of Elro. This was a private server, like no, a private server, yeah. But it was for friends, and that's why it was so custom, because we never bothered to add a cash up or I bother like we going through the cash up completely or doing certain stuff. It was a private server for a group of people. Then we decided to make it public. So it takes a while. It still takes a while for me to streamline the whole thing. I mean, the server's running, yeah. The website's functional, but it's not optimal. It's not optimal, so we are planning to change it and add more stuff to it. Actually, the server's going to be revamped in the next few weeks, so wait for it. And I'm gonna need your guys' opinion like on the website. I want to know if it's like nice, pretty well laid out. If you have problems finding things, if it's like too bright, too dull, or there's not much information to go around. But once it's out, please let me know your feedback. Okay, I want to know your feedback because it's really important for me to know all the feedback so I can fix all those details that some players may or may not like. But feel free to tell me, feel free to send me DMs, feel free to make reports on the forums so I can get to work and fix it as soon as possible. But yeah, that was one of the main concerns back in the day when Elro was just for a group of people. Then it became public, and since then we've been fixing a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's not what players wanted. Sometimes it's not what the developers wanted. So we're trying to reach a happy medium for everyone. And I know it's been really bumpy. I know it caused a lot of drama during 1.0. I know. I'm well aware of what happened. And we're just going to try to avoid that kind of stuff again. So this is the purpose of a podcast, at least a monthly podcast, to know everyone's concerns and try to address them as soon as possible for everyone's benefit. Panda, Rye, anyone has to say something about it? Any comments, concerns?
Well, oh,
Did someone fall asleep?
No, sorry, I'm like kind of like halfway out of it right now, so
Okay.
yeah, the doctor's stressed out.
honestly, to kind of build off of that, we're never really gonna appease everybody. There's always gonna be a few people either on any end of the spectrum that's gonna be like, "Well, I don't like this." It's like, dude, you came here either under your own power or a friend suggested it. If you don't like it, you have two options. It's either you buck up and deal with it, or as much as we would hate to say it, leave.
Well, that's true because we can't cater to everybody because same thing with WoW is like or Rebirth. Some people want it, some people don't. It's trying to appease everybody that's going to spread us thin or just make everybody mad all at once. We can't make everybody happy, but we can try to at least gather up the core and keep that part happy, I guess. Trying to make it so that the game appeals to everyone in every single way isn't possible. Like it's just flat up not. There's no way.
And I'd also like to point out a very prevalent, I don't know, a disease, especially as far as real private servers or communities are concerned. If there's one thing I've noticed over the years is um, for failing servers that are trying to fix things, um, sometimes it could be the administration or the moderation board's fault. It could be ignorance, it could be carelessness, it could be selfishness, because everyone has different intentions, different agendas, so we can't really say much. But what I want to point out is there is another problem on the community side, the player side. What I'm seeing is, there's this really, really, uh, I would say, silly double standardness in the player community in a sense whereby from a social justice standpoint, there's just way too many cliques within cliques. You have your guilds, but then within guilds, you've got man cells, little groups, little cliques. And the problem with these cliques is everybody has this really, really bad and unhealthy mentality. I would call this mentality the delegation syndrome. Everybody delegates a speaker towards the forums or a place of feedback, and they try to summarize everything up, like all the concerns and the pull selfishness of the clique or the group or the guild, and try to summarize everything in and raw data and just dump it all on like a forum thread or anything. Now here's the problem, people. If you have personal concerns regarding any aspect of a game or in an online community, you should man up and address it yourself on the forums. Don't delegate things, because from a player side of aspect, it a lot of things are going to get lost in translation. Remember, everybody has agendas here. That includes yourself. This is undeniable. We're human beings. So um, if you want a clear translation, if you want a crystal clear communication, if you want your message to get across, you're going to have to post your message yourself. Do not delegate this to your members, to your group members, to your so called friends. Do it yourself. You want good feedback? You give good feedback. It has to come from you. Okay?
I have to disagree with that. A lot of players have been complaining about the trolls trolling them for posting their opinions, so they stopped posting. and they'll tell their friends their problems, or me their problems, or the GM that's on at the time their problems, because voicing them on the forums just turns into an argument or someone telling them that their views are stupid. So they're gonna act like that unless something is done about that.
You can't
I
really
agree,
do anything about trolls. It's going to be there forever. There's nothing really
That's
anyone could ever do about it except for try to IP ban that type of things. But trolls are always going to live.
But that's not even being done right now.
yeah, we probably need to address that too.
Mhm.
There's one particular troll right now that is trolling people who are voicing their problems. That's gonna stop happening if that person keeps doing that.
not only as the forums a way to get a hold of us too, though. We try to be online as much as possible, especially me. I usually just leave my character on the side and listen to people that want to talk to me, or even direct messaging us works as well. Sure, the forums are a main place to voice your problems towards us, but there are other ways as well. More discreet methods, of course. If you don't want to be scrutinized by someone in the forums, you can always get a hold of us in one way or another, in a more private way, of course.
Hmm.
And just continuing shortly on what I mentioned earlier, I think I'm hoping that a few of the players that are present here or are listening to this podcast, I hope you understand what I meant, because I'm not specifically targeting everybody and branding everybody as guilty, but you have to understand that uh, delegation and complacency, you know, in a group filled with good, honest, and decent people who want to support a particular server, uh, these little things, these little ignorances, that's how you create a spark that burns down a healthy forest. So I think it's good to try to avoid that in the future and just sort of speak up, because it's a terrible disease. Uh, a group filled with great people. I've seen so many good guilds filled with very healthy players, good people who treat each other with respect. But when they start delegating something to someone and that burden becomes too much to bear, that person will, just sort of resort to skimming everything out. And when you skim everything out, somewhere along the line, you're gonna get, you know, broken passages. You're gonna get cracks. You're gonna get potholes that won't ever get to be filled. So I think that as well is something that most players should be aware of in general to to really avoid anything
Mhm. You're
unsuspecting.
right. You're definitely right, Panda. But clicks having like a tombstone, a trademark of games like Row. I mean, you have the tile system, just those nifty green tiles over there. That's like another reason to just start a click or any kind of drama. So we just have to deal with like things that concern the game in general. I mean, I understand the desire to break clicks and keep it neutral and everyone hold hands, but in a real world, in a real environment, that's not gonna happen. People are always gonna have clicks. There's always gonna be drama. We just have to find ways to deal with that drama or deal with the issue at hand and benefit a great number of players or try to help the most we can, but we just can't, control and destroy clicks just because they're detrimental to row or just because, I don't know, we got on someone's like wrong side or bad side. Because then it's just gonna be a war. It's gonna be an eternal war. People hunting down other people just for the sake of favors and recognition. So we have to be really careful when it comes to social stigmas and social interactions on Row. I do understand we need to take care of the trolls. Yes, there are a couple trolls on the forums that are getting really irritating. And I guess we should address them as soon as possible if it gets out of control. You were saying, Panda? I know you wanted to say something else. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh no, I actually agree with everything you said, but the point I was trying to make across was not so much to abolish or to police guilds or cliques or groups in general as as an undying social aspect. I'm just saying that uh, for those of you who are playing on this server, you should understand that you know you should speak up for yourself. Even if you're in a clique, that's what I meant. It's healthy that way. It's healthy.
Yeah, that's understandable. Anyone else has something to say about it?
I mean, half the time it's better to take care of it yourself before you actually even bring it up to others. But a lot of people just like to go the alternative route and just go straight to other people. Me personally, I don't like that, but that's the part that bugs me the most.
It's people in their having their comfort groups, especially in their guilds or their small little cliques that they have. They're always gonna voice their concerns to each other, and then yeah, usually delegate someone to bring it forward. Generally, their leader or whoever is the best to voicing the group's opinion.
Are we just limited to the board of moderation, or does anybody else want to speak up? Other opinions?
Pretty sure anyone's willing or allowed to speak if they wish. It's just interrupting one another. That's the big thing. Trying to get a clear message across.
Well, I think at this point, sorry, I think at this point we can open the floor to everybody to speak up. Yes, Boobut?
Well, I mean, what's this to say about cliques at this point? We've got maybe a player base of 15, 20. How big? I'm curious. How big did this get before it exploded last time? Before you had to.
I think there was a max of 20 people online at one time, and I think I've seen the server get up to about 12 at a time. My guild alone had about 6, 7 active players, not including their alts, and then I think there was another 5 or 6 in Kingdom Hearts that were active players.
Well, I can't tell if that's depressing or reassuring because you're going to be clipping by that real soon here.
Yes.
It was mainly the Kingdom Hearts people that came in and started causing trouble because Madam's here guild was basically the top tier stuff, and they wanted unfair advantages to catch up to her, considering she was here first and they came in late, which is why we're not introducing WoW again so early. Wow, whoa, again so early.
I was confused there for a second. I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
wow, the brain.
Yes, we're turning WoW into WoW now. It's just gonna be
Yeah, I quit.
Well, I have an advantage then.
Well, I
I'd
agree
like
with
to
that
make a
stance
WoW guild.
If it,
and the restriction of rebirth classes. I would almost go so far as to say that you may want to deny access to certain forms of endgame content that people might be able to pull off that were intended in the old days for rebirth classes, but might be doable now by people who know what they're doing, just to slow down power creep a little bit. I've noticed that stuff like Saromas are accessible right now. I don't know how people feel about that because I thought Rachel's Sanctuary wasn't. What's the word on that?
Accessible?
Yeah.
It was before the wipe.
Huh. Okay.
Pretty
Never
sure
mind. I must have misread something.
Most all PVM areas are available now, even if they aren't possible with current characters. They're still
Well, you
available.
give people 2 or 3 months of this, and the super novices will conquer Thors. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
Now, you got to be more specific baby super novices.
I'd kind of like to see that, to be honest with you.
It's just like, well, we have sad news in the LRO server today. A group of baby super novices just dismantled Thor, so we're gonna shut the server down. There's nothing we can do to stop them.
I
They're
think that's a
taking
bit
over
of
the
a
server.
exaggeration. There's one supernovus on the server right now.
I
Just give-
know, but
just
it's
give
like,
it
that's
time.
Honestly, though, I think we need to like seriously decide on one aspect to focus. Like, if you know, the thing about introducing rebirth, I think, which I've seen on certain servers, is if it's released too early with a very low population, it's not much to go on. I mean, if you want a uh, I don't know, in game like a socioeconomic growth in game, you're gonna want to, I don't know, maybe push a little further and focus on building up the population first, then slowly introduce rebirth.
Well, that brings up
'Cause-
another really great talking point.
Go on.
Let's talk about inflation briefly. I mean, I've had some chats with Luna about this right now, but one of the things that servers, slow growers like this, run into is because people join slowly over time, the early adopters end up just accumulating a pile of Zenny and then sitting on it because they have nothing to spend. And then when the
Exactly.
economy eventually starts, it's going to be basically between those people with an unscalable wall between the new adopters and the old guard. How are you going to attack people's Zenny? Like right now, in the moment people start getting 99, they're going to have nothing to buy and it's going to start piling up. How are you going to attack people like me who are going to be, in the long term, incredibly harmful to the economy of your server?
That's true.
Let's
And I
ban
think
them.
Well, I mean, I can just quit now.
Well, I can point this out. I'm level 60. I've got like maybe one other thing I can buy, and then I'm done. I literally, there's not much else I can buy. At least not from at least from an NPC. If it's player based, that stuff is just already outside my price range to begin with. So I've never even bothered with it.
We look at the reset girl right here, and I'm going to tell you a dark secret. The reset girl makes me money because every time I go to farm something, I can reset my stats to exactly tailored to the flea rate and the optimal damage and what have you to whatever I'm hunting. She doesn't slow me down. She is not as anything. She accelerates inflation right now as she's implemented for me, and basically anybody else who knows how to use her. So what are you going to do about that?
You can't blame the whore.
She only wanted to help. Oh my.
I think on the face of it, it might be time to think about scaling her to level. Like we talked about that sooner. The sooner that happens, the better. I realize you've got a lot to do right now. Just throwing that out there.
That's a good point.
Talking about have her charge more the higher level you are.
So what, like up to a certain level, keep it at the base prices, and then after that, it's like every 5 or 10 levels, increase it by a set amount or something.
Probably have to turn second job.
By a zillion. And
I
then
don't
just,
think anybody's gonna be able to afford that then.
good. Well, I mean, okay, that's not good.
Can't.
Even you.
Find me a scripter and I will. If people have
Even
all,
just adding, like,
if
say,
people
a
have all
couple-
those fantasies, I'll make them come true if you find me another scripter.
Keep
Not
my
just having like
eyes open.
Find a
someone
scripter
that's
and I
level
will.
70.
If you
That would
don't, then
feel-
it's just be a dream.
What were you
Luna
trying to
has
say,
a
Ray?
point though.
Yeah, we need a pretty decent script that knows how to change all the coding.
I think we definitely need more people who are more well versed in scripting and coding. Yeah. So
So what you're talking
If
about
any of
doing
you
is actually
are genuinely, you know, concerned about the server's well-being and definitely want to contribute to it, you just can't say, "I hope for a better tomorrow," but we really got to do something. Like, really got to do something.
Sorry, in spite of that bold speech, that guy is not me.
Thank you for
I
your
mean,
honesty.
I can't keep changing the server every single time someone has a panic attack. If they have a panic attack and they want to leave the server, then goodbye, good luck. I'm just trying to do my best. Okay, I'm just trying to do my best. I can't please everyone, so. What do you say,
Do you have any
Panda? Huh?
advertising?
Oh, you want to move to advertising? Well, about catering to people, I mean, I could go for the LCD, but I don't know how that's gonna go.
I don't know what that is. Could you explain?
Lowest common denominator?
Oh, so me then. Okay.
I mean, if I cater to one population, I may sacrifice LCD, but if I cater to LCD, then the small populations may get irritated or they may have problems. So we have to find a happy medium for everyone to enjoy the game as is, or the way we intended it to play, or the way the players wanted to play.
I think that's doable. I'm sure you're tired of hearing this by now, but there are good models to copy from of people who have found kind of a happy medium in terms of mechanics related to, like we talked about the cash shop and how they
Well,
choose to combat
I
inflation.
understand that's what you call our Athena, but the point is, if we deal with the population, what do they want and what do I want as a developer? That's my dilemma. That's what I was trying to point out.
What do you want? Do you want this to be your friends and
What do
family
you
server, or
want?
do you want to get this as big as possible?
What do you want? What do they want?
What do you want?
Panda, what do you want?
What I
Tell me,
want?
baby.
I want a pony.
I can give you a baby if you want one. You can take mine.
Oh,
That was
you
quick.
gonna stay with Uncle Butt for a while? Hey, kid, you ever had liquor before?
Well, that.
I
Hmm.
think you already know what I want from the server. The classic Revo rule set would, I would say, strict controls on inflation and moderate cash out practices. That's pretty much it. I'm willing to tolerate a
Oh,
population of like 30 for several months, or maybe even in perpetuity, as long as it hits those itches for me. Oh, and fucking GMs who don't change my name from Butt Force to Boot Force.
That'll probably
Nah, I
never
don't waste
happen.
my time with such banters. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're an old guy, right? You're an old you're an old man. You're all grown up. You know what you do, right? You do you.
Luna, I don't know if you're paying attention to the Twitch. Somebody asked a question on there. I don't know if you answered it already or not.
We already asked that one. We already answered that one before, but I'll
No,
answer it right now again. We were
I'm
still
like
fixing and
again. I'm out of it.
what? Out of what? Oh, okay.
I'm freaking tired. I'm running on like probably 3 hours of sleep right now because I freaking slept weird and my back is killing me right now. So, again, if I miss something, don't worry about it. Worst case scenario, I can just rewatch it on Twitch.
But yeah, let's just bring the question here. What classes do you think we should definitely balance or rebalance? I mean, any suggestions, any problems?
I know there was a lot of complaints about assassins being overpowered before the wipe.
I think when we
Is
were
it still
doing
overpowered?
Yeah, but I need more input. Like what skills are overpowered? Like what builds?
I don't play an assassin. Just saying what's been said. Kevin would know, and ASL, I think was his name, ARLS, something like that.
The
No,
main
because I
problem
know
with that.
before the wipe there were a lot of people talking about the what the frick was it? I want to say it was the Grim 2 slash Sonic Below build.
Yes, yes, that was it. Thank you. I forgot.
Wait, what was it about the GT build?
It's something about them being overpowered. I think it was mainly because a lot of that was being used in WoW, and other people were having trouble fighting it or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I
So they're
I mean a priest, so I mean all I'm doing is keeping you alive. I'm not really focusing on what skills they're using.
Well, I mean, you will when you get shanked in the face by one.
Yes, that happened a lot, but at
Okay.
the same time, you just revive and you get back into the fight. There's no reason to QQ over it.
Okay, I understand. But is it the Qatar build, the poison build? That's
The
usually.
Grim 2 Sonic Glow, I think, is a Qatar build.
Yeah, I think it was a guitar too.
Because I think the poison one was getting worked on before the wipe, and I don't know if it ever got like properly balanced, so I can't speak on that one.
So basically, it's an issue of damage scaling then, as far as those skills are concerned.
For those two, yes, I believe so. Because no, I remember because it was like early in the process, the skills weren't doing the damage they should have been doing. Luna buffed them, and then I guess like either the buff was too powerful or equipment that they were using was too powerful. I'm not
Well,
100% sure.
they also had Crimson guitars at that point, so it was probably a mix of both. But
Yeah.
everyone basically went assassin. You had the majority of the population was meaning assassins at that point.
Here's what I think. If there is a group of players that are really concerned on addressing or fixing this, why not have, like maybe like a mini event, or like general testing in a certain on certain grounds in a map, to test out the damage output. Like in WoW, for instance, maybe you can temporarily reopen WoW and have people in there testing those damages to address those issues. I think that will actually help. That is direct feedback instead of waiting on the forums to post, or waiting in the shadows for uh, previously non-existent drama to creep out due to concerns, that will escalate out of proportion, because everybody's keeping quiet about it or
You know,
delegating.
never mind.
No, go on.
I've addressed this situation like multiple times with several GMs because I myself am getting quite tired of everyone coming to me about their problems. But you have to keep in mind that everyone feels like their opinions don't matter right now after all the drama that has happened, and people want to talk to GMs, but most of your players are EU and you have one EU GM, so they either have to wait for him to come on or they don't say anything, or it comes to me and then I have to forward that on to a GM that I know. Like, I don't think it's that they're willingly keeping quiet. Is I don't think they want to deal with the troll, for one. I don't think they feel like their opinions matter because of what recently happened. I think that I completely just lost my train of thought.
Take your time.
Hmm? Huh?
I think
Oh, okay,
getting
sorry.
more GMs for both time zones would help. I think dealing with the trolls would help them voice more problems, and I think making them feel like their opinions actually matter will help fix a lot of those problems.
I actually agree. I think we need to address those trolls, number one, and second, I think we need to make or provide like a live common ground for testing in game. Like what I
Isn't there a PvP section somewhere in front? I could have sworn
Yes,
I don't
some
know
of the
if it's
guildies were doing it.
there is, and it works.
I know it worked before the wipe because a few of my guildies were testing out builds against each other there.
I mean, because regardless of where this goes or where real private serving goes in general, that's a very classic and old school try and true method. You know, we all gather at one spot and we address in-game concerns through that rigorous testing. At least we can see, live and the concerns that pops out from damage scaling or skill imbalancing or class issues there and can address it on the spot. At least we know, or we can write down a list or make it a note on what we can address clearly. Then we won't get lost in translation in between, and you can finally avoid drama and miscommunication between staff and player. So I think that's something that maybe we can focus on or push it upon. I mean, honestly, I'm still a little out of the loop here because I'm personally really busy in real life, so I'm not really that up to speed on the growth of the server. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I'm just giving a little out honest input here. Sorry, not output, input.
Mm.
Okay, that was for assassins. How about other classes like knights, wizards? What can you tell me about them?
Um, hmm. Trying to remember if there were any other like really big glaring things before the wipe that people were talking about that were.
There's one big issue that I've continuously heard, and it literally just derives from one class, which would be the soul linking class. That every time it soul links someone, it makes all of their abilities completely out of whack. Like assassins, what Sonic Blow gets completely overpowered, and when you put it on Crusader, their Shield Boomerang gets completely overpowered. Just having the Soul Linker class itself is making things broken. It seems from what I'm gathering, which I don't think we ever accounted for them when we were doing testing.
Well, that sounds pretty broken.
Well, I know what I'm rolling next.
Not
That
anymore.
sounds
I'm nerfing Soul Linker.
Oh,
that sounds
Jesus
less.
Christ.
Nah, that's
It's
gonna take a
gonna be part
while.
of my. I'm gonna do a little combo with like I'm gonna marry my soul linker, then do the hindsight sage thing or auto
Actually,
cast or
that's
whatever you
really
call it.
great. That kind of stuff will help me out in knowing what skills are overpowered or what classes are benefit like get the benefit of being overpowered by Soul Linker. And once we find out which classes are getting like a lot of benefits or OP, we can start like nerfing or reducing damage or
Well,
yeah.
there was a point when I saw Soul Linkers basically being made just to Soul Link assassins, and then they would go into woe with that and basically one shot everyone with Sonic Blow.
Oh, that's not good. That's like a 90s crack epidemic waiting to burst out in game. It's like if you're gonna leave a broken soul linker to its devices, uh,
So
two broken soul linkers getting married, well, they're gonna give birth to like a carton of Red Bull cans. So that's not healthy for the community. That's way too much caffeine, baby.
Red Bull. It gives you wings and also makes you shoot lasers.
But only through your penis.
Oh my.
not
I,
Alright,
only
I'm
the
sorry.
downside. Sign me up.
was it ever addressed about the whole? I mean, I know this is a Rebel Classic, but I know in Restart there was a big issue when monks first came out that like they could one shot everything other than assassins and knights due to how they would build and their skills. Was that ever addressed on here or not?
That's been G fists for every monk on every server ever since the beginning of time. They have always been that class. At this
We've
point, I
actually
feel like changing
reduced
that would even be obnoxious.
we reduced the damage that Jeepus actually does. It's
By
rare
how
for it to
much?
cap over like 40k for PVM, obviously, but in
Whoa.
PvP, it's hasn't really been a thing because assassins basically took over everything, so we didn't have any problems with monks doing
I
anything
mean,
really.
Well, then we might have to possibly look into that just to kind of be on the safe side, just to make sure that like nothing's getting too nonsensical, if that makes sense.
You mean as far as monk is concerned?
Yeah, because it's like watch that be the one thing where it's like, oh, just because there were like 50 assassins in WoE and nobody was using monks, nobody bothered to actually check. Oh wait, are monks still broken as fuck?
40k G-Fist, that's really bad. I would consider uncapping that or being more relaxed there and focusing on other ways of slowing them down, like a hard cast timer on G-Fist or something. Make it
We
more
just
difficult to use. Don't
we
make it.
just didn't want them one-shotting MVPs. I know that's kind of what people wanted,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but being able to one-shot an MVP literally just takes away the whole point of having to take people with you, or having people with you to take down an MVP. If you can just go and one-shot Turtle General by yourself, you're gonna have five monks just chilling there waiting for it to respawn, and then it's gonna be a scramble to see who can
Well,
get to
yeah,
it
that's
first.
been monks forever on every other server.
Yeah, and
Okay, well,
something
I
we
mean
want to
that'll be
reduce.
something to look into.
yeah.
I
I
guess
think
that's fair.
I think the G-Fist needs to be rescaled as far as damage and recast time is concerned. To avoid that, that really old horrible possibility of monopoly in on the MVP scale.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Go straight to jail.
It needs to feel wicked fucking powerful though, so that's a really difficult balancing act. Because that
It
is
is,
kind of an
yeah.
iconic thing, and having G-Fist
It's a
suck is bad for your server.
Well, yeah, but that being the thing is like if we try and scale it somewhere in the middle, there are still lower rank MVPs that could be one shot by that. At least with it being that low, there's no possible chance for them to one shot any MVP, let
I
alone
think
try and.
well, maybe not. Maybe it isn't that big an issue about one-shotting certain MVPs. I think we need to identify, you know, the MVPs that you know can be harmlessly farmed to a certain extent, whereby it would not break into like personal monopoly as far as economic a
Well,
server.
there are other ways of dealing with that, like disrupting people's ability to track the MVPs by staggering their timers, changing what zones they spawn in. You can get creative with that with not too much effort. I think that's a better way, personally. Like,
As good.
why should Orc Lord only spawn there in that one zone? You got all kinds of Orc areas in that area that he could appear. Get creative.
Well, you need to understand that you know right now, as far as staffing is concerned, I believe that manpower is pretty static. So, um, as great as those ideas are, I mean, it's easier to say it than to implement it in the blink of an eye.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think.
Hello,
Hello,
Uh,
Matthew.
my name is Matthew, and I'm gonna go eat some pho. Goodbye, guys.
Oh, goodbye.
Did you just say eat some fuck?
I did
Probably.
eat some pho. It's
Probably he's math, so probably he's gonna add some rice to it. He's always saying he's Asian and he eats rice, so
Hey, I'm Asian. I can
do you eat rice?
sometimes. I mean,
Yeah, but
I
Matt,
prefer-
that's like his trademark. He comes into every chat like, "Hey, I'm Matt. I'm Asian. I eat rice." I'm like, "Okay, dude."
I want some fun now.
God,
That sounds
I
nice.
remember.
have fun, baby.
I really don't remember anything else aside from those two things being like possibly
Okay,
like.
so but I want to know what's so okay. We discussed assassin like to overpower, cause the Soul Linker we may have to address Soul Linker. Probably change it to classic belts. I'm pretty sure the Soul Linker on this patch is renewal, and that may be the problem. What about knights? Are they still overpowered? How about wizards?
I haven't seen very many wizards or knights in the server right now.
Underpowered.
Yeah,
A lot of people
I'm a
don't
knight
want
and
to
I'm
pass
still
line for
relatively
wizards, so they're
early build, so
not
no
really wanting
idea.
to do it.
I mean, I made the knight semi-classic. You don't have cooldowns anymore on your skills. Like bowling bash does not have a cooldown anymore.
That'll be fine. Nobody ever broke the game with Bowling Bash.
On restart, yeah, it was broken.
Oh.
That was the main reason we added a cooldown. But then some people said it was the wopots killing the class, so we decided to remove the cooldowns.
Yeah, that
it's
would,
hard for
'cause-
me to comment on class balance like you ask it, but I wouldn't know. It's probably going to be a couple months before a small population like this gets around to having strong opinions on the way things are.
Well, the thing being with that too is we're not all experts on every class, right? We all mean something specifically, and we know how it should play. But
That's right.
we're also really biased on it. We want our class to be good, but relative to everybody else or the other class, that's hard to balance.
Right.
Especially when you have different opinions.
My wizard, I want my OP cast wizard, like insta cast. Thank you.
Terrible.
Yeah, can I just stay in hiding when I backstab?
Can I Magnus everything? Like every race there is?
Oh god. No.
Can I have a 100% reflect damage on my Crusader, please?
500k.
Can I have a map wide Magnum break?
Now that's an idea right there. I like that one. Let's just aggro everything on the map at once.
Astra Strike taking no mana. Yes, let's do that.
Spammable strikes.
Yeah, spammable Astra Strike. Each spam for each orb that you have.
Oh, Grand Cross not dealing damage, but instead healing you.
I'm sorry I started this.
Wait, Grand Cross healing you instead of
it deals damage to you normally, so you just swap that around where it'll actually heal you.
I was gonna put the priest out of business.
It takes a percentage of your health and then deals damage to you. It's like 10% of your total health and then like deals 3 hits of whatever. Instead, we'll take the 10% but then heal you back for that damage.
Like spanking your ass with a Bible.
Hey,
good and bad.
Gotta love being a priest, huh?
Magnus the whole map. That's all that.
Serving God with pleasure. Anyway, talking about priests, do you think madness is overpowered? Do you think the heals are overpowered?
Needs a buff increase, to be honest, in the damage.
Priests?
A little bit. Yeah.
I think madness is doing fine.
I think so.
I mean, I'm doing like 25k on necros. And I was like, not completely geared for Abby / necros. So yeah. I could pretty much solo Abby and have like a leeching service.
Well, I was gonna say, like, isn't priest one of those classes where it's just like it fits into that gray area really well, where it's like it's not super overpowered, but it's not weak. It's like it's one of those classes that just doesn't really seem too often need a buff or a nerf in either direction, because it's like, yeah, it just kind of sits there and does its thing.
It's like a junkie working in law enforcement, basically.
It's hard to balance a class that's literally supposed to support people, though. It's like you want your support to be good, right? You don't want them to suck. You want their heals to do adequate, and obviously their agilities and blessings, all the same thing. But balancing them in that aspect of where they're actually supposed to hurt things, like as an exorcism priest, that's where it goes into a gray area, because you can heal the undead and do damage to them, but you don't want your heals to be doing 10k to undead, right?
But the power of Christ compels you to do so.
There's like what, 3 undead MVPs, where if Luna's doing 25k with her, was it Magnus? She could probably solo one of those MVPs with just Magnus and a was it safety wall? Because they're all undead anyways, right? All she needs is a quick cast time.
Yeah, and he does Kaho horns, right?
We're glad those are not here.
Talking about Kaho horns, let's talk about a cash shop. What do you guys want me to remove from the cash shop? What do you want me to add? What should definitely stay? What should we like completely ban?
I think the items listed on the forums by that one person are good ones to remove.
That was me. Yeah, I could go on about that, but I would just be repeating myself.
Then repeat yourself.
I was actually
Okay,
kind of
I'll read it verbatim if you like. What's out of my voice that bad?
Sure. Let me watch a movie on Netflix. Go.
Okay, Luna. If you were to go the remove the worst offenders route and leave donate credits donate only, here's a list of what I personally feel are too good for the server rule set. The costume hairband of I don't know how to pronounce that is +1 to all stats. And the only thing like it is the Valkyrie helm. On a low rate server, making one of these is a huge accomplishment. So that's got to go. The token of Siegfried is terrible. I mean, it allows people to pay to avoid the consequences of death. That's complete shit in PvP. The very definition of pay to win. Magic eyes are pretty much best in slot for most caster builds because it's the casting time is like I don't know how much dex that is in renewal, but it's a ton. The snake hat is 3 strength, 3 int, 5 m depth. Just from raw stats, you really can't find anything like that right now in game. And the snake head hat is a motherfucker. I hate this thing because I play a rogue, and I feel like people are stealing my thunder when I see this. But more importantly, it lets people ditch their Sidewinder card and lets them use like level 4 weapons with other procs to unlock combos that were not intended when the like double attack was designed. Robo Eye, again, it's just in terms of raw stats, you can't find anything like that in game. And finally, the gigantic majestic goat may even be the worst defender of the lot because the 12% damage against demi-humans, you get a ton of attack crease from your job level increases, and it's unbreakable. So it becomes the best physical hat for PvP. That's that's a bad look. Those are the things I think are awful and need to die. Alternatively, they need to be accessible in some way to your average Joes so they do not become objects of hatred and kind of a division between people with money and people who are just poor, wretched bastards, complete losers like me. Well, actually, to tell you the truth,
I thought
I
you were going
feel
to go a different
obligated
direction with
to
that.
donate
And
to
let's start us
servers.
off.
It's okay.
What's that?
Oh, you have anything else to say?
Well, in terms of donations, I feel obligated to donate to servers that don't reward donations. As paradoxical as that might sound, like I detest the idea of pay to win to almost to a neurotic level. I've been playing MMOs for a long time, and they've changed a lot since the glory days of Dark Age of Camelot. And I'm very old guard in that thought school. So when I see people buying stuff to make their MMO better, it just fucking sets me into a mouth frothing rage. That's what I wanted to say.
I feel like we should go the route that everybody else is going and just start introducing loot boxes.
No,
Yes, loot boxes just for Frogger.
Yes.
With a frog on it too. Cute little frog.
The Frogger loot box.
Just for him. But yeah, I'll check the cash shop and start eliminating items. There are some items that shouldn't be there in the first place. That is true. Just need to sit down with the staff and yes, right?
Most of them are pretty
The way
good.
we go through those, but I'm just gonna call you Boo because calling you Butt just sounds weird. But
If you like.
Who is trading me?
when we
Stop
introduce
trading
those
me.
items, we
I feel harassed right now.
no, you threw me completely off what I was gonna say. But some of those items that we didn't actually look at the script beforehand, and we added them because they were costumes. We even had one, the Neko hat, that offered 10% experience and stats, all stat.
Oh yeah.
We had no idea. Nobody told us nothing. We found out on our own, and then we instead of removing it, because then that would mean we would have to take all away from everybody who had them, which was more than 50% of the server had those Neko hats, and we had no idea why. We just thought they were cute, so we just allowed people to have them. And then eventually it came to our attention that they were giving stats that were not intended. So instead of removing them, we just slapped a higher price on them so they were less desirable. But obviously, people bought them anyways. Just like the Kaho horns, it was a joke. That's why we made them so expensive. But people want to be overpowered and they're willing to throw money at it.
Yeah, that's why you made them expensive. Wink, wink.
Well, I honestly didn't want them in there either, but and then we put it to a vote as well to see if people wanted them out, and they didn't. They didn't want it out. They didn't want us to remove the snake hat either. They stopped wanting people to. They didn't want us to remove things that they wanted because it made them stronger than.
They don't know what's good for them, though.
Of course they don't. Everybody wants to be strong and have it really
Exactly.
easy. Really easy. It's
That's
the same thing
perfectly
with the Crimson weapons. We didn't want them in the game. We didn't know the damage they would cause and the reliance. It was like introducing crack cocaine to people. They got so reliant on it that they were fighting us because we wanted them gone. Because it completely ruined everything in the server. No one wanted the smiths were completely useless. Having converters were completely useless. No reason to have a blacksmith because there was no reason to smith good weapons because everyone had them already. All they had to do was refine them themselves. Even just farming them was relatively easy. You could just farm an area like Anubis and kill a couple of the Panza, and people were stacking up daggers with elementals, and basically the best damage you could get in a weapon. These are things that were not intended, and we thought that it would be okay just to have them. But then later down the road, they became problems. Problems we didn't foresee. We didn't have the foresight, which is 100% on us. And how to deal with it. How do you get someone off of drugs, essentially? It's very
cold turkey. Fuck them.
We tried that cold turkey, and everybody hated us for it.
They're gonna hate you. You're still. Well, I mean, this is just kind of a history of how you got here, which is the cold turkey effect. And those people are never coming back, and you're better off without them.
The people that were having the issues are actually still in the game. And as I said this to you a dozen different times, you seem to think that everyone was so addicted to the weapons, but everyone was perfectly fine with them being removed as long as they were getting something to replace the weapons that they had. Most of us were willing to farm other better weapons. Oh.
The main problem with that is, though, is the way that they were as being as strong as it could possibly be. How do we give you something that's on par with it without you feeling mad that we took something away that was so strong and giving you something that was less strong? There's no way to balance that.
Did you see the list that Lizzie put out? She literally sat down with the majority of the players at that time and made that list. All of those suggestions were suggestions made by your players who were addicted to the Crimson weapon. They literally picked worse weapons to replace the weapons that they were losing. Not because they were addicted to the Crimson, but because they wanted something to replace what they had farmed. It was more about the time spent than it was about the actual weapons.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very healthy practice. I think we should focus more on that interaction. Hoping
some
we
dude
can get
wants to know about figurines.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Some dude wants to know about figurines in Twitch chat.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of issues about the figurines, about how their stuff only affects the first class and not the second class. So like most of them give you a stat bonus, and then afterwards, if you like on a priest, you won't get the extra benefits on an alchemist or an alkalites figurine, for example.
There's two ways we can go about doing that as well. I'm very much aware of that. It's clearly always been a thing. I've checked other servers and into the script as well. Some of them can transfer onwards to the following classes, like swordsman to knight or crusader, and some don't. I don't know which one is the right one here because it says swordsman, but it doesn't say continuing to knight. Also, they aren't meant to be end game gear. They're meant to be early game substitutes, which makes me think that they're only supposed to work for the lower classes. But later down the road, someone decided that, oh, they can just work for everybody being like the knights into the paladins, crusaders, whatever. So
Alright.
I'm not quite sure if they're supposed to only work for class 1 and then not for class 2, class 3.
Well, there is no class 1 on this server. You pop your manual, you go to Wolves, and in 10 minutes you're done.
Yeah, yeah, I'm well of that as well. But I mean, for the figurines in this case, I'm not 100% sure that they're not supposed to continue on to, say, Knight or Crusader, because I can't get a clear answer on that. In the
Okay.
script, it says it only works for swordsmen.
That's right.
I can actually partially help with this because I have swordsman's figurines on my knight right now, and they are affecting my character.
They're affecting your knight?
They are affecting my knight. Yes. If I unequip them, I lose. It's it's like 1 or 2 points each in defense and magical defense, but it is affecting my.
It's like strength. It gives you one vite and like 1 defense or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to give you 1 vit and 2 defense. So let me take them off right now. So my vit right now with the bonuses of my class is 35 plus 6, and that's with the figurines on. I take those off, I'm down to 35 plus 4. So it is affecting me both with the primary stat and the secondary stat both.
Yeah, that's where it gets kind of blurry because for some classes, like I know the thief, they really want that. What is it, attack speed or flee or something? They
3%
really want
attack speed. That's really nice.
Yeah, 3% attack speed. Thank you. Not having that is detrimental to them. Like it's a big loss for them. But that's what I'm saying is I'm not sure if it's supposed to transfer over or not. Otherwise, it's not scripted properly, or
Right.
because I can't get a proper like response for it. Some people say it is, some people say it's not supposed to. And even for our game right now, it works for some classes, but it doesn't work for others. So even that, it's disparity amongst itself.
So that might be a separate thing. Is like just get like one of all the primary classes, both the 2-1 and 2-2, and say, here you go. We'll give you 2 of the figurines. Let us know if they affect your character. Just so we can see if certain classes are getting affected by it and other ones aren't. Like if we know, like, do we know the figurines will work for the 1-1 classes without any problems?
Sorry, I missed that. Say that again.
I asked, like, do we know for a fact that the figurines, all of them, will work for the base classes?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 100% certain that they work.
Okay, so yeah, then the alternative, the thing would be was like find get all of the 2-1 and 2-2 classes, and just be like, okay, we need to do a test so we can figure out what figurines are working for what classes, and then the ones that aren't, we need to fix that, like figure out where it's derping up.
I know for a fact that it doesn't work for the thief classes and it doesn't work for the acolyte classes or beyond the acolyte classes and beyond.
It's in the script. I mean, it's not going to transfer to your second class. The bonuses apply to the first one, and some may seem like they transfer to your second class, but they really don't. I mean, I tested them out like multiple times.
That's true though, because you are getting that 1 bite from it, which could give the illusion that you're getting that +2 defense, +2.
Exactly. But it's not transferring. It's not made to transfer. And it was like on restart too. So I don't know why the
That's also why
misconception.
That's also why Mora decided to revamp the rewards, because if you're getting an or a statue for reaching 99, that statue is completely useless to you. So that's why she offered other rewards as well as the statue, because as soon as you reach 99 on a swordsman and you get a swordsman statue, it's completely useless to you unless you make another swordsman. and even then, it's only useful for about an hour. When then you become a knight or a crusader, your corresponding class. So offering us a different reward, knowing that it's not really useful until we, of course, eventually bring in rebirth, where you can use it again for another hour. But we're aware of it. We're just not 100% sure if it's supposed to transfer forward. That also being said, it's more along the lines of a placeholder or a booster accessory for when you get like rings, gloves with slots or cards, so you can actually use something good. That's why they only offer semi-okay boot or boosts or stats.
Except for the
Besides,
thief one.
besides the thief one, that one's actually really good.
Nerf it.
Yeah, definitely. But it doesn't transfer, so it's not bad right now. But if it were to
Good point.
transfer, it would have to.
Okay,
be
someone's asking if we want to add slots to the figurines. I think that's way too overpowered.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah. I think they
I
should
think that would
use
kinda
them
defeat the
for
purpose.
like first class and then change them.
If we add slots to them, then that makes them basically the best gear you can get. Especially if they would transfer to like your knights, your crusaders, your second classes. If it transfers to those and it's carded, then it's literally the best gear you can get. Because gloves only offer like what, +1 dex, +2 dex. It's like you're getting 2 defense, or what did the thief one give? Like flee and attack speed, and then add a card on top of that. You throw a Zerum card in that, you
+1
get a
edgy and +3% attack speed.
yeah, and then you throw a Zerum card in that, and it's literally the best gear you could get for a thief.
Mm.
There's a reason they weren't given out in the very beginning as carded, because they already realized that they were pretty broken in themselves, which is why I could see them not being able to transfer to year 2, 2-1, year 2-2. More of a placeholder or a booster accessory for early classes to get through them faster.
Okay, so we discuss the figurines, wizards, knights. How about
Citizens.
sages and alchemists?
There was an issue with sages that a player brought up to Aurelius before the wipe, and he said that he would tell you about it, and I don't know if he did. I brought it up to Rai, but I don't remember what the exact problem was. Do you remember there?
I do remember that there was a problem with the AI during 1.0, that now it's about embryos. Apparently, people were saying that it's too hard to make embryos, but to make stuff, you need gear. If you're going brewer, you must specialize in it. I mean, you may fail a couple times, but as soon as you get better gear, you that that fail rate will drop a little. Also, you may need priests, dancers. I mean, gypsies. We don't have trans yet. Paladins and other classes to help brewers do their stuff. So yeah, brewing as of now is kind of incomplete until trans classes come out, or at least you won't reap all the benefits until trans is out.
Working as intended.
Actually, yeah. If we don't have
The
trans,
one thing that's working as intended.
the alchemists like struggling because they don't have like the gear yet, and for brewing you need gear. You need to specialize.
You need stats.
You just can't go out there and start brewing like bare naked. I mean, you can, but
I like being
What's wrong
naked.
with being
Thank
naked?
you very much.
RO After Dark.
Best.
Someone put on some smooth jazz.
Ugh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
See, you are a great singer.
It's not singing, that's just noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back. I need a drink.
He didn't even answer.
So that's the only thing with Alchemist. Nothing else. The Grenader, the Acid Turret working properly. Enough damage. Not enough damage.
I actually haven't used any of those skills.
Okay.
Not even before the wipe. I was just brewing potions and crap before then.
How about
Any
bards and
problem?
dancers?
This is actually my first dancer, so I'm still learning her.
I mean, I use my dancer all the time, but there's no problems other than double strife being kind of slightly powered, but it's not so bad. Same for hunters. I think the traps are way too powerful now.
Traps were powerful in Restart, considering there were hunters soloing MVPs there. Just about any time we would go to TF2, it was almost like a 90% chance that if you saw a Stormy Grave, it was killed by a hunter named Male.
Oh my god! Oh my god! We know that hunter. Oh, Panda. Panda, we know that hunter, right? Was it like? Oh my god, Panda. What was his name?
Oh gosh.
Oh my god. Damn. It was that guy from Symphony, right? Or no, 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 no. The oh my god, I forgot the name of that guild.
Are you guys talking about
Azir?
him or having sex?
No, Malix. Bye bye.
Oh lord.
Was it Azir?
No, no, no. It was from that guild. No, it wasn't Bubbles. Oh, Fluorite.
Fluoride.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fluorite. Yeah, that was the guy. He was always
Okay.
killing Stormy on restart.
Yes. Yeah.
He's still alive though.
I mean, I'm quite certain a lot of the old batches that we were familiar with, like 10 years ago, they're alive somewhere out there.
We need to gather them one last time.
One last
Before the
time.
bombs drop.
Yeah, you know it.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
This is something you actually mentioned that you wanted as a talking point. But converting boat points to credits, is that even on the table? Or is that something you'd like to avoid? What do people think of it?
I mean, the ratio should be really wide, like 20 to 1, 40 to 1, something like that.
I actually suggested 50.
I could totally implement it. It's gonna take me a while because I need to test it out. But yeah, it's actually a possibility.
I think it's good to establish a voting base, especially to put us on the list if we're serious about growing this server in general. We definitely need to consider all options.
Oh, I'm taking notes of whatever we're discussing here. So yeah, I just need to like when the stream is done, I'm just gonna make a nice forum post.
The only thing I would really like, at least the option for it, not this is something you have to do, just like somewhere tucked off to the side where it's like, if you don't want to put all of your points into your first class, you don't have to.
Oh my god, dude, that will break the fucking game.
I
Very
remember you
spineless.
said something about that, Azure, and the first thing that occurred to me was that I could make Crusaders completely busted because of that. Because as a Crusader,
Well, no, like
you have to
make it that like you have to put like a certain amount, but like if you get to that point where it's like, okay, you've got 40 points in, like say like that's the minimum thing, like you
So-
have to spend
so
at least 40 of them, and it's like
you
if
you
you don't
want
want
it
to
to
use your
like
last
if you want to master the class, you get that basically 9 extra points.
yeah, it's
Even just a couple extra points at some places could completely throw off builds. Because as a knight, you get bowling bash and you get your spear skills as well. If you have the extra points. Or
Yeah,
is
this
it,
is basically breaking the basic framework of class and skill progression. So we there's no way to really calculate and predict the repercussions that would pop out from just you know tweaking
Right.
that little aspect.
Agree 100%,
like-
Panda.
We wouldn't know until they actually started breaking the game, right? And then if we take them away, that'll make people upset. It's like giving kids toys and then telling them to play with it, and then taking it back saying you can't play with it anymore. But that also being said, it would completely destroy builds. Being as a knight, you either go attack speed, or you go bowling bash, or you go spear. Now, if you can mix those two together with the extra points, it'll completely destroy a class or make it so, yeah, you have more options, but having more options a lot of the time isn't always a good thing.
Yeah, we can't kill like classic old school variety at this point because we don't have that kind of server stability or community to sustain that sort of volatile gambling. So I
I'd
don't
quit.
think we yeah
Most
pretty-
people
yeah.
would. They'd look
Yeah.
at that and quit.
I do like where you're coming from though, Asher. I do like that idea, but thinking about it as a whole instead of just like I want to piss around with this system is like makes me wary of implementing it.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I definitely like it as like a thing to mess around with. If we could do like an event like that where everybody just gets every skill, and then just throw them in a room to just piss around with their skills, that would be hilarious.
That's a good idea for an event.
Actually, that is.
It'll be like a demolition derby event.
What would you call it? Game breaker? I like that.
I
It's
don't
got
know.
a
That
nice
would
ring to it.
actually be an interesting name for the game breaker PvP tournament. It's like it's like the only rule is no rules. You have all the skills that your class allows for. Have fun.
No,
Fight
give
Club.
everybody every skill and 99 points to work with. See what they come up with.
We'll drop everybody's stats to 1, but then give them all the skill points they want. So they're hitting each other with wet noodles.
So it's like spaghetti bondage.
Why did I expect that to come out of your mouth?
I'm Panda.
Okay, I'm just thinking I can get I can't completely max out every spear skill, but I can get most of them with the exception of brandish spear decently maxed out. And that's not even with the extra points. that I
Yeah,
would
but you're
add
just
back
thinking
in.
night here. You've got night vision. It affects different classes very differently, and that's
I
my
know,
primary
but
gripe.
I'm using that as a basis point,
Yeah.
because that's
But
what I
that's-
have to work with at the moment.
Knights are like the very cut and dry though. Say like for mages, they get a lot more skills if you give them those 9 points. They can access something completely different as well as being like maining Storm Gust, and then they
Yeah.
can throw something else on top of that too.
Instant cast with Storm Gust.
I'm not really proficient in like monk skills though, but they'll have like shit tons of combos, guillotine fist, and then say I don't know more buffing abilities on top of that.
Mm.
You really, to be honest, have almost everything maxed out except for maybe like 1 or 2 skills on Monk. Because that's what they go. They go combo build into Astro Strike, and then there you go.
Or
Combo, do more damage.
Spirit Throw is another
Yeah.
one.
There we go.
Yeah, because I used because my 2 main builds on Monk would either lean towards G Fist or basically Spirit Throw. Now for Spirit Throw, there is something. I mean, I'm not currently sure what the damage scaling is currently for on the server, but there was a server that had a problem with the imbalancing on Spirit Throw to such an extent whereby, okay, let's say for example, you're a monk and you're a Spirit Throw build, and your focus is farming, like sleepers, let's say, on a Spirit Throw, and to do that, the usual formula is you get a 2-3 slotted like chain, refine it to as high as you can, and then you card it with Peko egg cards on damage against formless creatures, and you just go whammy on it, go ape shit. Now the problem with the particular server that I'm referring to is it was imbalanced to such an extent whereby you don't even need, spirit throw damage was so OP that you don't even need that chain. You can just basically slap a random weapon on. As long as you have those skill points to max the particular skills, you could farm those set monsters. So I think that's something worth looking into. I mean, maybe testing, spirit throw out as far as
Mm.
build is concerned.
And this was an alternate idea because I've seen this on some servers, not a lot, but some where they have a ZeniSync option, and I don't know if it like increases for everything you do with it, but it's like you can buy skill points, but you have to be a certain level, and there's like a limit of how many you can buy, and it's not a lot. I think it's only like 5 extra skill points you could buy, and it's just like if you want to invest it, but it's like the original price point is like so much, and then like as you buy them, it increases like by a set amount. I don't even remember anymore.
That's
So
speaking of that though, like not to move it along, but like the whole idea of a Zenny sync is a good idea too. It's something we should address a little bit here. But yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Well, I don't really remember that much about it, but I'm just like I'm trying to think of like different ways where it's like it my idea could be possibly implemented, not to maybe the extent that I originally planned, where it's like there's at least an option where like you can get some extra points for whatever class you're running, and you don't make it where it's like okay you can have an extra 10 points where where Boot was saying where it was like it will just completely break something. If you have like 5 extra points, I don't like that really limits the possibility of breaking something.
Wouldn't that create an even wider power gap between people with tons of money and people who are new?
well, that depends on how wide a sinkhole you're going to set it to, because um, from what Alchemist is saying here, I can definitely see potential in that being a very good, a very decent controllable sinkhole. Should the player base and economy grow to such an extent whereby you can see a monopoly growing. So that's definitely interesting. I'd
So
write
like
that
maybe
down.
make it where like the first skill points like something reasonable like 10,000. That's not really going to hit. I mean, yeah, it's going to hit the newer player a little bit harder than it will the guy that's got like 5 million zenny just stashed in his bank for no apparent reason. But then like you find a way to increase it where like the next time okay it's going to affect both of them, and then like the third time it's really going to affect the new person, and it's also going to really affect the guy who's rich. And it's just like and you increase it in the fact that it's like okay it's still an attainable goal for player A who is new and maybe doesn't have a lot of zenny, but it's going to become a conscious decision of okay yeah I don't have a lot of yeah I have a lot of money, but now this is starting to get like expensive, and it's like it's starting to sink into what if somebody has something I want and then they're asking a stupid price for it, it's like well now I might not be able to afford it and I have to go farm for another week.
This invariably turns into a situation where Scrooge McDuck has those 5 extra skill points, and then Tommy Newbie doesn't. I hate that. However, there is something does occur to me, which is pretty much your idea. You could charge people for, you know how many people, you got to take your job to level 50 before you transfer, so you
Yeah.
get those extra skill points. You could make people pay for the extra 10 and let them go to 40, and then charge a premium for those extra 10 skill points just to kind of tax the lazy.
So
And you could
basically,
do that without creating a power gap,
like a job boost from 40 to 50. Just pay
basically.
like 50K and then boom, your job 50. The money is obviously just an estimation, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I could see that as just as long as it's like you do not have to spend those points on your first class. Like if you will still have that option to like, okay, yeah, I'm now level 50,
No, I
but then I
hate it
go to
again.
do my job and oh wait, I need to spend those skill points.
But that would be that considering we actually have a decently flowing in-game economy for that
Yeah.
to sustain itself.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine where waiting until it's like, okay, now we have an actual like economy system that's
Foundation.
like it might be slow, but it's there.
Right, I got you. I got you.
Got a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worth writing down because you never know when we could actually use that when the chance arises.
It
Yeah,
could
like the
definitely
job
be
level
like
skip is the idea's got merit, but not right now. We need to. That's something you bust out when the economy looks like shit and you want to try to tax the lazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
another.
charging guilds at enormous fee to enter their own guild dungeon. That's another thing for the super long term.
Yeah, that's like a Hello Kitty tax.
Flip
Thing
it.
with
You are already too
Please
rich,
let
buddy.
us
Tax.
actually call it that.
We'll just pass down a decree and call it the Hello Kitty decree.
Yes, the
Just
Hello
have
Kitty.
have a banner and everything. Speaking
The
speaking of
Hello Kitty
taxing
motto.
though, oh, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now. The idea of the job skipper. That's another thing you guys were bringing up. I kind of personally feel like it takes away the whole amazing thing. Oh, I'm changing jobs finally. But obviously, for veterans like us who have done the job changes probably dozens and dozens of times, it gets like tedious and annoying, right?
I'm just thinking 40 to 50, but
No. I'm talking about like skipping the job change quest.
I know what
oh,
Ree's talking about. It's like on Nova where it's like there's just an NPC you can go talk to, and it's like, oh, you want to become a merchant? Okay, you don't have to go through the nonsense. Oh, you want to become a blacksmith or whatever. It's like you don't have to deal with that quest that's going to take you several hours of farming and grinding to get everything you need. It's like, no, I'd just rather go talk to PC over here.
Well, you could always use that as a gold sink, though. And I mean, some of those job changing quests are a real pain in the ass. Like, I spent an hour trying to job change my archer into a dancer because the stupid thing was just being stupid.
Yeah, that job change quest is cancer.
So I mean, that NPC would be very helpful for certain classes that just suck. Like the wizard job change and the sage one are also such stupid quests. Like if you get the worst possible spawns over and over again, you're gonna be in there for over an hour trying to kill these things.
I love the
I have
sage
an
shop.
analogy for that.
That's
It's
a
like
good tax though. That's a great Zenny sync, especially in the long term.
Well, that's a good idea though. Taxing the lazy, it's a really good way to work around a lot of people with money. You give them things to throw their money at if they want to just speed stuff up.
that's actually pretty good. I mean, as far as balancing is concerned, it's very Robin Hood esque. Shoot them in the scrotum when their ball sacks get
And you say Robin
filled
Hood,
with
as my immediate
gold.
thought is, wait, we're gonna charge the rich people and then give it to the poor.
Well,
You're
So they
joking
can-
about that.
Yeah, like an
That's not even-
IRS tax
I mean-
system.
yeah, we've already thought about that too. And what was it? A yeah, basically an RO, federal assistance, fucking tax.
Like the
of some sort.
IRS. Row IRS.
Yeah.
Um,
T-
shit, what is that
Taxing the
called?
rich to feed the poor.
I mean, not too huge a tax. We don't want to become an in-game communist state. Otherwise we.
It's just
end up-
welfare
Yeah,
for
but you
dumb
really need-
noobs.
you
Yeah.
really need to. Sorry, go ahead.
The newbie welfare fund, basically taking a bit of money from the very rich. And this is obviously down the road stuff, and it would take
Yeah.
a while to implement.
Yeah, it is.
But being able to give like newbies like an allowance every so often, say those that are below level 70 or 80, give them money to basically gear up so they can start leveling with the people that are already close to 90 to 100.
There's a lot of shit to think about there. For example, the first thing that's sprung to my mind is that, okay, I'm going to make about 30 accounts and keep them under level 70, play them maybe once a week so I can really rake that in, game the system. There are a lot of pitfalls there, but I approve of the principle. Scrooge McDucks need to get fucked. Those guys are toxic to the well-being of small servers. I'm
Well,
talking about that one guy. We all know what sort of archetype I'm describing here. Who's just on every day farming Zen. He never does anything with it, and is usually part of a guild of people who do the same thing. And over time, this turns into just an outrageous source of inflation for the server. And sacrificing that small handful of people and their angry posts on the forums is a small price to pay for, the dozens or hundreds of people who are more satisfied with the server because they can actually afford to participate in the economy. I'm saying eat the rich.
Well, there was another thing that I wanted to address as well when it comes to money sinks, is people have been talking about adding an NPC they can buy things off of, things that are hard to get.
Ooh, that's a slippery slope. I mean, there's
people have
tax
been
and then
wanting a
there's
card NPC for a while.
Well, no, I don't think he just means card NPC. I'm thinking like all gear, like the rare gear that's got like a ridiculously low drop chance, where it's like you're either getting bubblegum cards to try and help and still farming for hours on end, or you're farming for hours on end several days a week to try and get it. I don't want to sound like mean or thing. I was like, in a way, it's a good idea, but only. And this is like the key factor is that you need to price those items accordingly. Like you need to figure out like, okay, this item has a 0.01% chance of dropping. It's going to cost X amount of zenny.
Also, another thing being of the usefulness of said card. Like, I'm not going to sell you a paw pouring card that detoxifies you at the same price as a golden thief bug card, for example.
Yeah.
which should be 200 billion zenny.
So that's a double-edged sword where it's like you can sell the stuff that's like, okay, it's rare, but it's great for like if you're just trying to catch up, but like as soon as you hit that certain point where it's just like, okay, yeah, now this is useless.
But the potential for it as anything there is equal to the potential of cheapening the outrageous accomplishment of actually getting those cards. So on like in normal servers under the normal rule set, having a golden thief bug card is like you won the fucking lottery and you're somebody, man. The gods of fortune came down and favored you, and
Well,
now
I'm
your
not
life
saying
has
it-
changed
I'm not-
forever. So
I'm
on
not
Kalinar
going-
Row, that means nothing. You got a GTB card, great, whatever. Now fuck off.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no,
not
I'm not saying it. It's just I'm not saying that like it's only gonna be cards. It could like, or it's like that's something that they're gonna sell. We can find a way where it's like, okay, if it comes to the situation where it's like, all right, do we want to sell the cards? Maybe we can, but we only sell the stuff that's going to be useful for players to kind of help them get to the point where they're going to be able to farm the cards they actually want or actually need.
Hello.
Where it's like if that makes sense, where it's like, yeah, we're selling cards, but we're not selling anything that's like really gonna make it where it's like, okay, there's a level 60 that's as powerful as a level 99.
I think with cards being that thing, like maybe I don't know, maybe we could instead of selling. I think with cards being that thing, like maybe I don't know, maybe we could instead of selling something that's a little better and something that's worth putting your money into.
That would
You know what?
That actually brings up something interesting, that you offer the players who don't have
something that's
money to be able to spend on donations a way to be able to still get like stuff like that, like the battle manuals, the job manuals, bubble,
There's really
anything
no way
that
to,
doesn't get taken out, but you make it where it's like, okay, you're gonna have to pay for it.
there's really no way to determine whether someone can afford spending real life cash or not on a server. I mean, there are quite a few players that spend a lot of money on this server, and then there are some people who spend a very small amount, if not at all. But again, there's really no way to determine that. You could easily say, I can't afford to spend it, and yet you can. Those things would have to be open to everyone if you do that in game.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, the option can be there, where it's like, if you want to donate, you can, and you get donation points, and you can redeem it for. Okay, well, maybe, um, what is it? Because I think in the donation shop, it's the same price for a single battle manual as it is for a box of 10.
No, I think a box of 10 is 5 points, and one is less than that.
Let me double check that.
But they could always do a login bonus. If you log in every single day for a week, you get a box that has some bubble gum or EXP journals in it, which would affect everyone and not just certain players.
That's actually a really good idea, like a login incentive.
Because most games out right now will give you a bonus if you log in daily, and
That's
then a
true.
bonus if you log in weekly, and then a bigger bonus if you log in every single day of that coming month.
Yeah, that's true. It's like an attendance bonus.
Yeah, and it keeps players coming in daily.
That would definitely be more fair, and would yeah,
Okay, no, yeah,
that would be
you're
safe.
right. It's 1 credit for a single manual, and 5 credits for a box of 10. So we could always just like move the single stuff into like the player market, where it's like now anybody can buy it with Zenny.
Yeah, or like I said, they could give it away as a login bonus. Like if you log in for a full week, you get some bubble gum. If you log in for 2 full weeks, you get some EXP books. If you log in for 3 weeks, you get something more than that. If you log in for a full month, you get something else kind of thing.
Yeah.
At that point, it literally affects every single player. No one can complain that someone else is getting it over another player, and you're helping everyone at that point.
She has a point, and I would like to add that you know, adding to what she just mentioned, I think it will be really healthy to establish that basis of like an impartial, like a common ground for impartial bonus rewards for the whole community, regardless of donation points or not. Fair
Right.
play.
So are you guys suggesting we should add like a daily reward or something to the game?
Yeah, daily login. Would be perfect.
Yeah, just like BDO and every other free to play game out there. It's okay. Could be
It's
a
true,
could
but
be
it
an
kind of makes people just want to log on. But see if we can. Well, we might not be able
yeah,
to
that's
do
the
that.
point. It's just they just log on for 5 minutes
Log
just to
on,
get
log off.
it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like
Well,
raids and everything else.
It sounds dumb, but there's some hard science on that one. And statistically, a lot of games do that because it does cause people to log in. Well, I'm just going to get the bonus. And then they see something they want to do in game, so they play. That's a real effect that it's exploited extremely.
Yeah, look at the problems it causes. Look at FF14, people crying because they only get every day to do something, and then they have nothing else to do other than roleplay because they hit a wall.
It has its own set of issues. They've homogenized PvE endgame content to such a degree that there's no difference functionally between the experience of an endgame raider and the experience of a complete dipshit who just mashes buttons in terms of what content they can explore, the gear they get. I hate it so much. But this is not
Panda,
what
you were
I'm
gonna
here to
say
rant about.
something?
The rat rate, like an absolutely cancerous rat rate.
Oh, it is.
It's
for
like
no reason.
It's like I mean, I know. Okay, fine. This forgive me. This sounds a little sexist, but it's like it's like Black Fridays at Macy's, but in the Victoria's Secret section.
I don't get it. Why do you have to make it sound like Black Fridays on Macy's? I don't get it. Is that supposed to be racist or typical or something like that?
Oh my lord. Jeez.
I just lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Me too.
It's okay, Alex. It's okay, Alex. You stay there, okay? Hang in there.
No, no, cut the mic. No.
I already wrote it.
What was your question, Alex?
But yeah, those kind of things are really. Actually, Row 2 has it. The daily thing.
Yeah, they do. I know.
But who plays that game? People still play Row 2?
Terra has it. Monster
I was
Hunter
excited about
has
that.
it.
I played that for a while when it first came out.
Same here. I think most of it is.
You smell them.
Back.
I use shampoo and then I'm done. Okay.
Okay, back to Row. So the cash shop, we're gonna eliminate a couple items, balance it out.
Did you
Huh?
put new ones in, like wings and stuff?
Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to ask. Like, I don't know if everyone's on agreement for wings.
Wings are trash.
Wings are trash. They're garbage. Get that enemy out of here.
Hey, my shit is beautiful.
We could make a poll and later on decide if we want to add wings to the game. But I'm not sure that will be right away because we have like the cash shop thing, the website, the balancing issues with some linker and other classes. That may come in the future though, so yeah. But not right now.
Okay, wings. The reason they're stupid is because everyone ends up with them and they're no longer special. I mean, look at that. Look at how special that is. Now, if everyone had that shit, it would just be
The butterfly wings.
Butterfly.
Such a special butterfly.
Much rather had anime.
But I want to be a wasp.
I think this server has the snowflake, like special snowflake wings. I'm gonna wear that one because I'm such a special butterfly. Special snowflake.
I want to be the purple,
there's-
like purple and pink wings. Yes.
I think there's about 18 currently in the server of the wings, different variants. And some of them just get extremely autistic.
Speaking of which, look who rage quit.
But I want red and purple and with like a black lace.
You want a rainbow wings, like the ones from Grand Fantasia?
No, I want the.
You remember
I
the
want
ones from
purple-
Grand Fantasia, the parrot wings?
Yes.
Remember Panda and Livia's, like the ones that Compass had? They're like a bunch of flavors mixed into like some
Yes.
weird. Yeah.
What about the wings where you like walked in front of everyone and just left a little trail?
Oh, the sparkling one.
Yes.
Oh god, the pink dust. Like we'll shower you with cocaine glitter.
Cocaine butterfly.
People were
Cocaine glitter.
yes. People were role playing the crap out of that. Be like, don't worry. It'll make sure that you have a lot of fun tonight. I was like, whoa, someone's
It's like those lyrics from Outkast, you know. Let me some sugar. I am your neighbor. Woo.
Oh my god. But yeah, wings, cash shop, anything else that we haven't covered on Row? I mean, pressing matters. Things that are vital that we should change our way.
I mean, if people want wings, they can also
Yeah.
have backpacks.
I have a most
Backpacks have wings?
Can we
I
have a
have a big
schoolgirl
issue.
outfit with my
oh my god,
backpack?
yes. Please.
Can you say backpack? Say backpack.
Oh, Dora, yeah, Dora backpacks.
Yeah.
No, seriously. If you're getting rid of those items that were listed, or more or less something close to that, I'm sure plenty of people have them already. How are you going to deal with that?
You just take them away.
All right. Fuck 'em.
Just silently remove them. You don't tell
They're
anyone.
getting refunded for their credits. I feel kind of bad if they just disappear.
Well, they already got refund of a refund, so it's not a loss.
Refund of a refund.
Is
from
that
the
it? Got
other
two
stuff.
refunds or three, so
Well, I mean, I hope you've got earplugs because there's going to be some whining.
There's gonna be a lot of whining.
don't worry. I
people
have lots
about
of
this.
pacifiers for everyone.
Oh yes, yes. Don't worry. Sewers can just use earthquake and
Yeah, we'll work around that. I mean,
goes away.
I could do another batch of my cash shop refunds. It's okay. Just don't abuse it.
Maybe make them request them.
But yeah,
So
that's,
we
Prove that
can
they had
easily
the item.
tell.
that's gonna be a slow. That's gonna be a slow process. I mean, I'm not gonna like remove them in one
Make like a
sit.
forum post, be like,
It's gonna be a
"Do you
slow
notice
remove.
that you're missing this? Blah blah blah."
Yeah, giving them a heads up will kind of minimize the fears a little bit.
If she doesn't do a
There we go.
refund, they're probably gonna get very angry about it. It'll be the Crimson Weapons all over again.
Rip that band-aid off now before it gets any more infected or whatever.
The infections will spread quickly.
We can ask these people to procure their screenshots personally and, claim it and just steal the whole damn sewage pipe. I mean, let this be like a one-off pass
I
behind.
mean, the incentive is not even that great. I mean, some of the things that are gonna be removed don't even cost more than 10 or 8 donation coins, so it's not gonna be that big of an issue.
I think once those are gone, you've got a pretty more or less fair and balanced donation shop. Like the rest of that stuff is pretty good, but it's more or less on par with what an endgame player could eventually farm MVP and such.
Right. And personally, I think it's healthy to continuously, it was a good call for Luna to have this podcast because I'm starting to see that, it could be useful if we continuously actually convene back here on a certain basis. Because a framework like this will never be stable. It needs maintenance. So, yeah, I think it's something worth continuously discussing about while we work out the kinks.
Yeah, that was the idea of the podcast, to bring everyone together, or at least try to bring everyone, you know, fold the same page together instead of just people being on different pages, different books, tomes, whatever.
Yeah, because chat and forum posts are just too small.
Yeah, just to minimize all the rumors and drama that's been going on for a while. Now that I have something official in stone, I can just go to the streams like, hey, remember this stream? You said this. You promised. You know, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah. At least from there, we have lines.
Some sort of like leverage collateral. But yeah, it's gonna be there, and people can just go to it and listen to it, I guess, or watch it. I don't really mind. That was the whole purpose. Actually, the podcast was something that we've been thinking of like for years. We were supposed to have a podcast years ago, but it never
We did,
came
yeah.
into fruition because I don't know, drama. Panda, I don't remember. Why did we stop with the idea? I don't remember. I mean, I guess we got busy or something. I really don't remember why we didn't go through with the podcast thing.
I think it was a mixture of like real life stuff and
It's because we
stuff.
had topics to cover, but the topics we wanted to were like pretty basic or something, and we
Yeah, it
didn't
was
have
too
like
rigid.
we didn't have the time to make a script. Actually, I just made a basic one this time, but we didn't have the time to sit down and just talk about anything. But now we can just formalize it. It doesn't matter. I could do like once a month kind of thing.
Yeah, I think
That
that
sounds
could work
pretty good,
out.
actually.
Yeah.
Once a month.
Make an announcement about it at the beginning of the month, though, to give people time to arrange their weekend stuff so that they can be present for this.
Yes, I completely agree because
Yeah,
time,
next
as far
one
as
would be like arranged. It's usually at the end of month kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be the best, to be honest. Like the ending weekend of the month.
Yeah, but it's gonna be like either Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
Well, you have Mondays, you have all people that work, and you got to keep in mind you have players both in NA and EU, so your time zones are gonna clash there. You'll have people at work while others are in bed sleeping. You'll have people like right now it's about 9:30 p.m. for me on a weekend. So if it's on a Monday, it's gonna be a lot harder for people to come on, especially if they're in the EU around this time.
yeah, so I think Sundays
Well,
are best.
Sunday.
Sunday as early as possible would probably be the best.
Yeah, because those are my days off, Sundays and Mondays. That's when I can actually host it. Unless someone else wants to host it and stream, I don't mind, but I need to coordinate before doing the stream.
Well, I think for the most part, you should be present in most of the podcasts.
Yeah,
Since
we
you're
should
here,
actually.
Mhm.
Well, doing
Why
it
don't
around
you
the
put it
would
up?
probably be the best idea, considering she's the core of everything and she makes all the changes.
Why don't you put it up for a vote on which day works for people, Monday or Sunday?
Yeah, that would be best.
Yeah, that could work.
I'm getting real tired of the voting system.
Yeah,
Everyone seems to
democracy
always-
sucks after a while, but it's a good way to, do statistics and stuff like that.
There's no real way to know what everyone's schedule's like. So voting on what day is best works for them would probably be better than just guessing.
It's always
Yeah.
usually very split though. So like even if we so we get lots of people on Sunday and lots of people on Monday, then eventually it's just gonna come down to a decision anyways.
Or it could be
Yeah, so
Saturday
you can make-
morning. I mean, I don't mind, but it has to be before 1.
Most before 1 year time is like 8 p.m. At least in my time zone, it's around 8 p.m. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is 1 p.m. Eastern. So most of the EU is either already off of work and around by then. Kev's my time, so he would be around. Aries is 8 hours ahead of me, but she's usually around for WoW during WoW hours, so she would be able to be around for this.
Yeah, having it around our old WoW hours would probably be best because that's clearly when a lot of people were available.
Mm. Micah, she's streaming.
But yeah, it has to be before 1. Probably 10 a.m. to noon or 1. Because my schedule's kind of changed now. I work from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I don't have like Fridays and Saturdays off. I'll find something. Don't worry. I'll make the poll and see if we can reach an agreement.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Is there anything else to discuss concerning Roe?
I'm honestly trying to think. I'm drawing a blank at this point.
Yeah,
like
just
those
the general.
Name changes. Is there a name change NPC, or is there a way to change your name in game? I saw someone else other than me asking about that in game yesterday. I think it was.
Boot.
That's an interesting thought.
Well, we could NPC. You could just leave a request on the forums, and we can change your name or send a DM to me, and I'll change your name until we implement NPC the name changer.
We really want that though. I mean, that lets dirtbags run from their past.
Oh my god. I think
I
in
made
Gaffin
mistakes,
there's
man.
a sex changer. We have a sex changer like in Gaffin, but no one goes to that one.
Well, that's not fooling anybody. But the name changer could. Like after a couple months, the whole server's gonna hate me. I'll just go ahead and change my hairstyle, change my sex, change my name, and I can get a fresh start on stealing things from people.
Well, you could always limit it to one name change per character, kind of thing, or put a time limit on it. Like you can only change your character's name once a month or something. I mean, like the only reason I ask is because my dancer's name was just a random name I picked, and I was gonna delete her, and then I decided I didn't want to delete her, and now I'm kind of stuck with the name.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Like my endowed slave up there, I should have named him hugely endowed. That's the usual name I have for those guys. And then Bolt Force could have been my actual sage, and I fucked that up. But I don't know. You have my 10 cents on the issue. I'm gonna go. I need a nap. It was fun. Thanks for listening and talking. See you later.
Bye.
Fair.
Okay, so we may add a name change NPC later on.
Still feel like there was something important that we should have discussed, and I can't recall what it was now.
Yeah, I think we
Missing
covered
something.
pretty much everything concerning Roe. I mean, we could talk about Lighthouse now, but most of us just, the only people that have been around a long time to discuss is just Livia's Panda. Maybe Ace, but he's like like muted silence. So
If you ever unmute some stuff.
yeah, Lighthouse stuff. Like we need to recruit new moderators and new staff anyway. That's gonna happen like in the next few weeks. And I'm gonna work with the advertisement because we need to reshift the advertisement now. It's not 2-2-1 anymore for row. It's 5-5-3. So I need to change that in a couple weeks are about to come.
Make a new ad, and I will message it out to some of the radio stations that I know.
Oh, there's a radio ad that we never. It's still there if you want to listen.
I know. I've heard it.
She knows.
Okay.
She's seen it.
I've seen it and I've heard it, and I gave all the information to Rai to email her, but he hasn't. So I can do it. I just need the ad.
Oh, you need the audio file again?
Yeah, if it's outdated though, you'll want to update it first.
Yeah, we can do a rehash of it. I mean, we never mentioned what to say the rates. It was pretty generic, right? Panda. Panda.
Come again?
It was Panda's voice that was the male. Okay.
Of course.
I remember hearing the voice, and I remember talking to Panda. I'm sitting here going, that voice sounds so familiar. Why do I know that voice? And now I remember. It's from the ad.
Yeah, I have a secret fan, Panda. So yeah, me and Panda did it. And we can do it again. I mean, we don't mind.
I don't mind.
Yeah, just get it to me, and I can send it out to some of the radios I know for them to play.
They actually do that stuff?
Yeah. It used to be. It started with Guild Wars 1. There was a group of people who decided that they wanted to DJ while being in game, so they created Blade Radio. It caught fire, and we ended up getting a ton of people wanting to DJ. It's basically you go into game, you have your character. Usually the characters will have DJ in front of their names, so you know that that's the DJ character. You'll stand in a major city. You'll be playing music. You'll make shout-outs in games so people know that you're on air. You'll do giveaways. Usually the giveaways were either given from the actual game people, because a lot of the radio stations are really good friends with the main people of the actual game, so they give things for you to give away, game codes and actual in-game gear. Or you'll have other guilds who have stuff that they don't want anymore, or they're just very nice and like to give things out, so they'll give them to you for you to then give out to other people in game if they like answer a riddle correctly or play some random game properly, kind of thing. It picked up really well, and then you had Gwen Radio that branched off of that one, and then you had Hardcore Gamers Radio that branched off of that. And I think there were two other ones that branched off, but I think they didn't do very well and ended up crashing pretty hard. I know Gwen Radio is still a very big, very well-known radio station because they went from just doing Guild Wars to doing a bunch of other games, and they started doing donations for like big disasters. I know a couple years ago there was a really bad earthquake, and we ended up raising a ton of money just from in-game players who were willing to donate during our DJ sessions. I used to DJ for quite a few years, and then I ended up quitting because my life schedule just didn't add up. But it's actually very fun. I mean, you get to interact with a lot of people, and you get to make a lot of friends, and it's still a thing. I don't think there's as many radio stations as there was before, but the ones that are out there, I pretty much know all of them because they all started off in Blade Radio.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. And I will keep that in mind for next ads. We can use the old one if it's generic and it just serves its purpose, and we can do a second one depending if Pan and I can, do it again with a different like track or whatever. Also, I hired someone to do a video promotion for us. He's gonna use like footage from the stream to finish the video. So in the next few weeks, we're gonna get like ads and other stuff on different sites. So we may see an increase in population after that.
I could even even do my
Oh.
Indian voice.
Huh?
Indian voice? Indian voice?
I could even do
Oh,
my
yes.
Indian voice.
Stop with the Comcast accent, okay? Comcast is so traumatizing.
I know. Kidding.
I know.
It's like trying to sell chapati on a gaming stream.
So bad.
I'm going for a new game.
Oh my
Ready for the
god.
news server today? I mean, we can give you the news sponsorship. All you got to do is just be right here.
Alright, you
Would
too.
you be interested in my new special curry blend?
The curry blend is the best. It is not spicy, not sweet, but just in the middle.
Okay, enough
Could
like
you have to make
curry advertisements. Last but not least, Lighthouse. The state of Lighthouse. We have people. Some talk, some don't. What games are we gonna play? Are we gonna play Bless? Livius, are you gonna play
I'll probably
Bless?
be-
Pen, are you gonna play
I'll be
Bless?
playing Bliss and I'll be doing a guild for it since I play BDO a lot.
Well, as
When
long as
get
you don't let it
into the early
die.
access,
Huh?
As long as you don't let it die, like you did with BDO, then we're good.
Hey, I had to play in Korea.
You
for my
let
league
it
account,
die.
so
Like I had to
died.
get on the game and promote to revive the guild. So if it,
Yeah, it died. I was playing in Korea on my Korean account.
we're playing Korean. We need people from the NA and the EU communities. Why are you going to play Korea if you're running a guild on NA?
No, it was my league account. It wasn't BDO.
We're talking. Oh, never mind. I need someone to run the uh blast guild if we ever make a guild, or just join a guild and like be popular,
I'll be making it
famous,
once it comes out.
fabulous. You know.
You
Hopefully
didn't
it's-
have the right inflection for the word fabulous.
Fabulous. Oh my god. Is that
Close.
better? Okay. Oh my god, it would be fabulous.
I was
Kid disagrees.
I know. So saddening.
there's like a 5% chance this is gonna screw my voice up. No, it needs to be.
Sorry, I'm not that
That
gay.
was perfect.
I need to be more gay, I guess.
Yes.
I need more fabulousness, you know.
Fabulous.
You know it.
Don't worry, I'll get some help with that later in the fabulous area.
Okay.
Gays. I gotta confirm my gender.
Are you assuming my gender? Like, it's
Oh my
2018.
god.
Like, if I want to be a ravaging Twitch stream, I identify myself as a Twitch stream, I can, okay?
Yes. Don't let anyone tell you you can't.
Of course, I'm a stream. I'm stream sexual.
Stream sexualizing.
Yeah,
The
here's some
hilarity is going to be if the advertisement for the it not only includes footage but includes audio of just us randomly saying this shit, and people are just gonna be like, "The fuck."
Hey, but it might catch their attention.
Fair point.
Everyone likes the word fuck, so I mean, who knows?
Imagine a phone sex style of like a real server ad.
I thought of that in the about something in the future, just doing that for giggles one day.
That'd be funny.
Just for streaming
Right.
purposes. I was like,
So yeah, just wrapping up the whole thing. We should play Blast, or is there like another game coming out?
no, not
It depends on what time of the month.
Like my period, like your period.
Mine just started, so I'm sorry.
Okay, so I don't. The only other game I know of that's well, at least going into open beta next month is Dauntless, but that's near the end of the month.
Oh yeah, I heard about that game.
It might get a lot of people since it's PC instead of just stuck on the PlayStation for Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter's not stuck on the PlayStation anymore.
It isn't?
Monster Hunter World is it's on both consoles and it's coming to PC this September or October, one of the two.
Oh, then maybe
And-
Dauntless will just fall through the hole.
And who knows?
What about events? Are you guys going to be hosting any more events? I mean, there were a few before the wipe, but since the wipe, we
That's
don't.
generally Mora's department. She comes up with all of them and she hosts all of them. We try to do some of our own sometimes, but she's usually the big event person. And she's
I
not
mean,
being-
what about something like you did last time, like some smaller events on the weekend where a GM just comes in and does basically what you did that one time with the little colorful crap?
Well, that's just because we had a high population server at the time and everybody was here.
What we could do is a spring blossom event. It is April. Well, ending of April, almost May.
Well, you can always put all those ideas on the forums and employees chat for those who are like part of the staff. You can always like leave like on my DMs the suggestions too, and we can implement them as we go. But the main issue was like cash shop, balancing out, especially Soul Linker, um, refunds if we remove cash shop stuff. But for now, we'll just focus on those things and events. We'll just talk to Moria if she has something in mind. And
to be fair, we did come up with that one.
huh?
The Game Breaker tournament.
Game Breaker trade? What?
The Game
You
Breaker.
get all your skills for your class, and you just go at it in one arena.
Like your stats go down to 1, but you get all the skill points to be able to unlock every skill you have.
That will break the game.
Well, that was the whole point of the tournament. That was the whole point of the game. It's just like for the tournament only, find a way to do that where
it's like putting them in a room.
You'll have all these points to put on your class. Go wall a few people like a wet noodle.
Well, I'll think about it, but I'm not gonna promise you a change right away. I'll just test it out, and if it's viable, maybe I'll do the changes. But as of now, I'm gonna work with Cash Up and rebalancing classes like Soul Linker.
So yeah, work on the important stuff.
I know.
That's, actually broken.
Yeah, I understand.
We can wait on the crazy requests that make no sense.
Someone's talking about Light Installer. There's also a torrent, but some people claim that it's not working properly. I'm not sure if that's working. I mean, I tested the downloads and it was working for me just fine. So I don't know if other people are having problems with their downloads. If so, please let me know so we can test them out. Well, yeah, just leave me a message on the forums or through Discord if something's broken, downloads are broken, or I don't know, it gives you a 7-zip error, or what's the other one? WinRAR? Yeah. It's WinRAR and 7-zip, or I forgot the name. I don't know. If one of those are being problematic, just let me know and we'll try to fix the links for download. Because the website's gonna get revamped. That's why I haven't been touching that in the past few days. I'm gonna revamp the website completely. I'm gonna merge the control panel and the website, so you're not gonna have to go to two websites, just one for everything. But other than that, I don't think we have anything else to discuss for now. I think we pretty much cover everything we want to cover, at least like urgency matters, emergency matters. So if anyone else has something to say or suggest or bring into the equation, let me know before we end the podcast.
No, I think we pretty much brought up all the stuff that was like questionable, needing to be fixed, and then brought up just crazy ideas of other stuff.
Yeah, I think we covered most of the critical stuff.
Something that Nick's brought up a little while ago. I was just wanted you guys' opinion on it. Implementing the safe certificates. guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
There
the
we go.
certificates for making your weapon safe to a degree of a certain upgrade. If your weapon's plus 6, you
Doesn't
buy
break.
like a plus 6 certification so it doesn't break while you upgrade. Yeah. Let's say you have a plus 7, you're going plus 8, and then you buy safe to upgrade plus 8 certification, and it won't break if you buy it or use it. I don't know if
Is that a cash shop?
yeah, that's
item,
cash shop.
or-
That's pretty much cash shop. Yeah.
That was one of those cash up items that original IRO brought in, where that was clearly just a way to siphon money out of people.
Is that like the ores and stuff that you were telling me about?
Yeah, the ores that would guarantee the refine,
Mm.
basically the same thing. I mean, we could always use those as like another Zenny sync
We can
down the
give
road
them
as
for
well.
events, but putting them on the cash shop, I don't know.
No, I don't want to put them on the cash up either.
We could
but
give
I
them
like
like
using them for,
for the footage event, like we're actually hosting a video event, more like an artistic, a contest where everyone can just, I don't know, be creative, artistic if they want to put a video on it or
You could
fan art.
you could give them away as like a bonus if you log in every single day for a month. Like give away one for a month's worth of signing in, or
But
something.
the thing with the certificates is they don't guarantee the refine. They just make it so the item doesn't break when you try.
Still better than getting the refine. I'd rather be able to refine a million times and not have to break my weapon each time I do it.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to put in those ores that guarantee the refine.
Mm.
But I mean, the safe certs themselves, I see it as a way of another Zenny sync, where like you buy one of the certificates for 100k, and then it guarantees your item won't break, but it doesn't guarantee you'll get the item refined.
I would buy a lot of those, so I think that definitely would be a good idea.
Yeah, that would be a fun sync. At least it feels somewhat more beneficial in a certain way.
Yeah,
I
then we
hated
could
breaking mine.
we could do it to like I think there's 7, 8, 9s, and then have them increase in value, obviously, so that like the 7 is 1,000, and then the 8 would be like 300,000, and the
Good
9
point.
would be 500, something like that. So
Yeah.
basically, if you want to protect your item, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, it's definitely. I definitely agree that it'd be a good thing to put in the game. I mean, I went through so many freaking weapons. It would definitely be nice to not lose the weapon.
Yeah, I'd second that. I mean, it gives more incentive and motivation. I mean, it gives more uh, overall value to the grinding aspect of Rogue.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing it as a good way to take money away from rich players. They get to save their refines. But on the other side of that, if they're guaranteed not to break their item and they're plus nining things that are high value, then they could turn around and sell it for something sell it for an obscure amount.
Yeah, that is the downfall of that. The more expensive the items are to upgrade it, the more expensive it's going to be to sell.
Take like the skull cap for example. That item gives benefits the more it's refined. And if you can guarantee refine it, and if you fail but keep the item, like you eliminate the hazard of refining, it could in turn lower the prices of the selling. Like if I tried to sell a +9 skull cap right now, it would be on a high scale right now where I could sell it for I don't know like 10 million in accordance of our small market. Whereas if it's not guaranteed, it would be much more valuable because there's no safe way to get it to it. So someone could turn around and sell it for like 40 million. So by implementing a safer way to refine, it could lower the value of highly refined items, which can be a positive or a negative depending how you guys see it.
But that also depends on how much you put in the save tickets for. If a player has to spend more zenning on a save ticket than they would have to just outright refining it, they're going to charge more for the money they spent on the save tickets.
Of course, that's another thing of it as well, is if we sell the safe tickets for 100k for 7s, and the item itself isn't worth 100k, and then it's a personal item at that point, or two, they're going to try and sell it so that they get their certificate money back and a bit of value for the item they have.
Well, that would be the smart way to sell something. You're not gonna sell something and lose money. You're gonna want to gain a profit in selling it. So if you're spending 1K on a safe ticket, that is automatically going to go in the price of the item that you're selling.
Or yes, but then it would also incentivize those. There's no way to know the person spent money on that safe ticket. I could refine something to +7 purely on luck, and then just tag the safe certificate on top of that, just because I want to.
Well, yes. I mean, you're gonna have players that are gonna do that no matter how you do it. Some people are just dicks. There's
Tell
really
me
no way
about
to
it.
stop that though.
Yeah.
You could change the name of the item if a safe ticket is used, but then again, that's gonna be more tedious than just leaving it as it is.
Yeah, we can discuss that later if we should definitely add it or not. But for now, we wrapped up whatever we wanted to talk about. The cash shop, the balancing issues. So maybe for the next podcast, we can talk about those certificates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just wrap it up. We already covered pretty much most of the topics we wanted to, and I will announce on pretty much next week when the next podcast's gonna be, so we can be prepared and all the topics and scripts we have to, review.
Make a forum post so people can post what they want to talk about on the next one.
Yeah.
So you have like a hard set where you know what everyone wants to talk about, so we're not trying to guess the problems.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, of course, it is a great idea. I'll just post on the forums once I'm done with reviewing what we talk about, and I'll make a official post. So I guess this is a wrap. Thank you everyone for watching our stream. Remember to subscribe and follow if you like what you watched. Remember to leave comments or go to my Discord or join the LGN community and leave the comments you want to do if we need to improve or if you have suggestions. I wish everyone a good day and thank you for watching us.